Oh, God, I love it. Let's do this.
Cool.
Real, seat's all yours.
On the limit. Oh, okay, all right, good.
See, this is my TikTok. This is the bit I'm most excited about, if I'm brutally honest with you.
I think so.
Hi, I'm Dan Camish of Napa Racing UK, and this is On the Limit Season 3.
Hi, I'm Jake Hill, and I'm driving for Rocket MB Motorsport, and this is On the Limit Season 3.
My name is Tom Ingram. This is On the Limit Season 3. Let's do it.
We are here at a gloriously sunny Snetterton in March, and this is the first day for us, all 4 motor-based cars turning a wheel today, and my first experience of the hybrid system. So all systems go here at Napa Racing UK with motor-base. Yeah, actually I'm surprised. I think it's better than what I expected. Yeah, Tom, you definitely feel it works. 100%. It's not, I really expected it's almost like you press the button and it's not the C button. How did I get into it? I was racing in Porsches in 2017. I was racing in the UK and also in Super Cup, which supports Formula One. My plan was to stay there, and I found out that Gordon was leaving Team Dynamics exactly the same time everyone else did. It was on, it just came out in Autosport, and I messaged Matt. I'd never really spoke to Matt before, other than walking past him in the paddock and saying hello. But I sent him a message just to say, look, I don't know, I'm sure this is a long way past being sorted, but just if it isn't, I'd be interested. And he actually wrote back saying, we are pretty much sorted, but your name was actually quite high on the list. We were told you were sorted to stay with Porsche, and we didn't take it any further, but we did actually think of you. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. It would have been nice to have kind of at least had a conversation. I said, but if anything happens, you know where I am. I would be interested, because touring cars has kind of always been on my radar as somewhere I'd like to be. And a couple of weeks later, he texted me saying, do you want to come down and have a talk about it then? And whatever they had going on with a driver before myself had fallen away, and the opportunity fell to me. As much as I enjoyed Porsche racing, when you race Porsches in the UK, it is a support championship. Stepping back into British touring cars, it's the main game. You're the star of the show in a way, and I'm in a team that is very much going to be the star of the show, I believe, this year. So I think me and Ash are looking forward to that. I'm just ready to get out on track and see what we can do now. Down first gear, he's got to press hybrid once on the steering wheel. Has he done that? So that will put EV mode on.
So have you explained that?
Right, yeah, so we're in EV mode. We are going to put the clutch down, hold the clutch down, engage first gear, press the once.
I like it. Happy.
Wow, that's amazing.
found out that there's opportunity to be with Napa Racing UK, for me it was a no-brainer. I think we're both just excited for what the future holds. I think it's going to be a fantastic season, really one to watch. I hope, come the end of it, I'm somewhere in the title battle.
Up until I did touring cars, full time in 2016, everything was rear-wheel drive before that, with Porsches, Ginettas, etc. So for me, I think it is very familiar. And what I'm finding so far is I think I am better suited to it. It's just going to take a bit of adjustment. I first got into the BTCC actually in 2013. Liam Griffin, who was driving for Motorbase at the time, he was having his third child, I believe, and there was an opportunity to basically replace him at Croft because he had to obviously go and be with his partner. So that was my first opportunity in, and we won the Jack Sears Trophy straight away. And then from there, we just gained momentum, and we managed to find the sponsorship to do it properly in 2016 onwards. I think what 2022 will bring is a little bit more opportunity than 2021 did. I'm in a very, very good car in a West Surrey Racing, factory BMW, and that means that you're going to have the car underneath you every single time you go out on the circuit. So yeah, I think I'm in the best place possible for 2022, and my ambition is really to go and win the British Touring Car Championship. I got very close although I finished 5th last year, points-wise we were so close. We all went into the last round, still with a fight of that, and I want that feeling again, but hopefully in a bit more comfortable points gap. I'm Jake Hill, driving for Rocket MB Motorsport, and we're here at the Donington Test Day 2022. So this is the first test, first official touring car test of the year. So pretty much all the teams are here, and we're all sort of running the hybrid system for the first time as well. So I am confident, the car's handling very well. It's my first proper day in my new BMW for this year. So yeah, on the whole, we're just ticking our way through a list of setup options now and just seeing what works and what doesn't and what I like as well. And so yeah, very, very pleased. I think the hybrid's an interesting one because there's still a lot of unknowns for us at this point. Exactly what it would be like to race with. Will it hold up to the stresses of racing and being under load 24/7. Once it's active. So it is a bit of an unknown. I think all the teams are slightly concerned about will it last. How reliable is it going to be? But on the whole, I think it definitely brings lap time, and we're seeing that so far in testing. And so whoever can use it in the best way, I think they'll see quite a big jump in performance. I'm very, very excited to see what 22 brings.
I'm excited for a number of reasons. I'm excited for hybrid, I'm excited for a new season, which is always fantastic. I'm excited for On the Limit. I've watched it, I'm a fan of it. It's going to be nice to be involved in it. My name is Tom Ingram, this is my terrible head of hair, and we are at Donington Park. It is the official pre-season test. So we're doing some hybrid stuff. We're driving around in circles, as you can hear. It's a lovely day. It's a bit cold, but it's very Donington-y. Thoughts and feelings. So far, very good, very positive, which is always a nice way to start. This is the first time we've run with hybrid, and it's been nice. It's been really enjoyable to feel the difference that the hybrid power makes. And you do notice it. It's not fast and furious, pull for 9th, 10th, 11th gear, but it's just that little kick. So far, happy Tingram, happy Bunny. I think we're in a good place. A year under my belt of being with Accelerate, that's crucial. I learned that from being with Speedworks for 7 years. That continuity cannot be overlooked. You have to have consistency, and you need to work well with the people around you. And I think that's where having that first year under my belt is fantastic. My engineer Spencer is, of course, back with me for this year as well. We've had a great pre-season testing. So, there's a few people that have been changing teams over winter. You've got Ash moving, you've got Dan moving, you've got a few new faces coming in. So I'm hopeful that extra year of continuity will just give us a little bit of a leg up. Every year I've come into that finale with a chance, and every year I seem to miss out on it. So there's loads of uncertainties, there's loads of unknowns this year as to what's going to unfold, but I'm so excited for this season. I cannot wait to get started.
It does look like a fuel fire, if I'm honest.
That killed the power.
Dan looking so despondent.
Well, you won't, yeah.
It's an all-nighter at the very least for the Motorbase team, isn't it?
Not 100% sure what's caused the fire yet. The car's literally on the way back now. It's coming down pit lane as we speak. It's one of those days. There's two halves of this garage, and unfortunately one has a lot of work to do, and unfortunately this comes with the territory sometimes.
This is British Touring Car Round 1 at Donington Park. New year for us all, but yeah, looking forward to it. For me, it's a big change this year, you know, with joining BMW and MB Motorsport are along for the ride as well, and you know, it's just a big change. I've gone from front-wheel drive car for the last 5 years in touring cars to now rear-wheel drive, but it doesn't make a difference to me. I drive cars with a lot more power and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I can deal with it fine, and so far in testing it's been a positive, so I'm happy.
I think it's going to be a season that's quite unpredictable in the sense that with success ballast going, I think it might shape things up. We might start to see that we can have a few more kind of consistent race weekends, and instead of it being a 20th in qualifying and an 18th in race one and have to fight your way back through, I'm hopeful that actually we might end up with a sort of a weekend of being able to be kind of consistently fighting for race wins.
I don't think there's any added pressure. You know, I think myself and Ash, you know, we've both won championships in the past. We know what it takes to do that. And yeah, in some ways you could say my championships are only in a level below, but also, if the wind had blown in a different direction back in 2019, I'd have had one myself in just my second year. So 2019 was you know, a really difficult end to the season. What a fantastic season I had though. You know, only my second year in a touring car, only my second year in a front-wheel drive car, and pretty much nearly won the championship, but for about 13 corners, but who's counting?
Ingram one up, so 2 places lost for Camish. The whole Camish! That's Camish, he's off the road! Dan Camish in the gravel! Dan Camish is out of the race, surely!
It was an amazing season. I had 14 podiums, which, you know, if you can do the maths, basically half the races I was on the podium, which is, you know, quite an effort really. And it's not about, you know, it wouldn't have changed my life, you know, that's the truth. I would have had a trophy and a pat on the back, but I'd have still been here, sat here talking to you today. So that was the moment that was robbed from me, really. It's such a hard, long year. You need a lot of luck, a lot of speed, and to come so close and have it taken away was, yeah, heartbreaking. I could have had one before, but I'll certainly have one back before I'm done.
Yeah, settling in very well. I think the biggest change for me has just been getting used to the car. The team, you know, they're such good guys and girls here. You settle in straight away. They make you feel at home. And I'm carrying over my engineer Craig and data engineer Rob. They come with me from the last couple of years, so it's really nice to have that continuity in some part of the people around me. It's been interesting. I've gone through quite a few front tyres locking up, but hopefully we're at the end of that now, and Rob can give me a bollocking if I do it too often, so that's fine.
The way the hybrid deployment will work will effectively just basically take off from where the success ballast was last year. So obviously if we're coming into weekends leading championships, you know, winning races, we're going to get less. If you load on the pack, you're going to get more. So I don't think any of us really know exactly how much it's going to change the dynamic of the racing. So I think I've gone into the finale since 2017. I think I've gone into the last race weekend of the year able to win it. So I could do with it at some point. I feel like I've missed out on it too many times now. Donington is brilliant. Donington's absolutely fantastic. It's a circuit that
Certainly one that the drivers really enjoy. You know, fast, flowing.
It's the slipperiest place on planet Earth when it rains.
Got some great corners.
Donington's got a lot of undulation, a lot of up and down, big hills, big long climbs, and
Looks fantastic, as all Palmer's circuits do.
But from a racing point of view, it's fantastic. There's loads of places to be able to overtake.
the hybrid system could give you quite a lot if you deploy it in the right way.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
So the qualifying session is underway, the green flag shown, and down the pit road then go the BMWs. Now, what about Dan Camish? He is back in the championship, having won Carrera Cup GB last season. You're riding with him, him and Ash Sutton. Many are calling it the dream team, but you've got two real stars there. Yeah. Having got excited about Jake Hill, he's had a time disallowed for exceeding track limits.
Our first time was disallowed for track limits. Be careful, mate.
As there you see, number 9 of Dan Camish. In the very colourful Napa, and there the blue light flashes. Now that's what Tim was talking about a little earlier. When that blue light in the side window flashes, you know. Fire on the front of the car. Fire is there through the bonnet, and Dan Camish is going to have to park that, and he does, and he bails very quickly. I was about to say that blue light says the hybrid is being used, but this is going to stop the session, I would have thought, with the car in the gravel. So that car is 15th fastest. Dan's okay, but urgently needs marshals with the extinguisher.
Come on, for sake.
They're trying to get the bonnet, get some extinguishing under the bonnet, which is obviously the source of where the fire is. It does look like a fuel fire, if I'm honest. There's no black smoke from oil, and oil doesn't burn that ferociously.
They haven't killed the power. Still pumping fuel out. That's why it's on fire. No.
The first qualifying session of the season, and then suddenly it pans to the car, and it was on fire.
A component on the fuel system split, caused the fire.
It wasn't a brand new component that weekend, but it was a brand new component in pre-season testing. It should have lasted 5,000 kilometres. It lasted less than 1,000.
When the fuel is pumping at 5 bar onto a lot of hot things, fire is very hard to put out. You know, yes, the kill switch could have been done, which would have prevented a bit of it. Yeah, there's a lot of swearing at the point, and obviously when things like that happen, camera people turn up, like yourself, and you have to be quite mindful of what you say.
Dan looking so despondent.
Well, you will, wouldn't you? Yeah.
It's an all-nighter at the very least for the Motorbase team, isn't it?
Well, the green flag is waved, so we are back in business as the cars are pulled back into the fast lane. Now, I know we've got 17 minutes to go, but 0.02 of a second is now the margin between Colin Turkington and Adam Morgan, who has just gone second. 0.02 of a second is all that's between them. Jake Hill is down to third ahead of Gamble and Jelly. Ingram is the best in the front-wheel drive brigade, sixth. This is Jake Hill coming up towards the end of the lap. Personal best and an absolute best. This could be good enough to put him top. Let's see as he breaks the beam. Jake Hill does go through, and that is fastest, 68.465.
Meanwhile, here comes Ingram to finish his lap. Jelly, I see from the monitor, has gone fastest of everybody in the first sector, but let's see Ingram across the line, and he stays 8th.
This is Jake Hill once more now. He's already the fastest from Sutton, and George Gamble, third fastest. Jake Hill goes quicker still, 68.418.
But Ingram has now pipped him. Ingram is now 4th. He's on his run.
Well, Jake Hill crosses the line, and that last lap was a 68.476.
Jake Hill takes his first pole position.
I'm really sorry, Sausage. We've only got pole. Great job, mate. Well done. Cracking job. What a job. Well done, boys. Blinding job, mate. Get in there. Finally ticked it off. So many times. So many times.
It was our first pole position, Jake's first ever pole position. So to get that in our first race with the team was fantastic. And we also had issues going to qualifying, and we weren't even sure if we would make the end of qualifying. So the first run we did was good enough for P2, and essentially that was a banker lap because we weren't sure if we were going to get to put any more laps in. So anything beyond P2 was a bonus. And then he went out and delivered, and we got pole. So it was a fantastic start to the weekend.
I'm starting fairly far down, last position after yesterday's fire.
But the guys have been working flat out. They got away from the track about 4 a.m. They've worked through the night, stellar job, and I'll be on the grid to take the start this morning. Yeah, amazing job by the Motorbase boys, and you know, today is my opportunity to repay them. You know, unfortunately, you're so helpless with a fire. You know, there's nothing I could have done to help with that. You know, there was many marshals already there with extinguishers who were trained to do this sort of thing, and you sort of sat there watching your whole day and your whole weekend potentially go up in smoke. You know, at that point, I was really worried that this might be the end of the day for me, or certainly the end of the weekend. And you know, thankfully the guys have worked hard. But yeah, you know, I've been in this championship before, and I've come close, and I've lost by only a couple of points. I know that every point counts, and when it's round one and you know that you're giving away vital points to competitors, you know, it's not a good feeling. It's a long season. You know, I'm really pleased that the boys have given me a chance today to claw some points back. You know, if this had happened in race one today, it would have been game over for the day. So, but the guys have given me a chance, so we'll see what we can do.
So yeah, qualifying was super close. I was kind of 6th, 7th, 8th, 12th, 8th, 6th. Managed to get a lap that was good enough for 4th. As I say, it was super close. Everyone has a story about qualifying. Everyone's got an excuse as to why they weren't on pole. We've got one as well. I lost 2/10 on my best lap with oversteer. So, you know, it's annoying, but at the same time, it's quite maybe a good thing that we've potentially got 2/10 in the bag that we didn't quite put into the lap time chart yesterday. So hopefully it means that we're going to be in good shape for the race. I've just been doing my warm-up, getting stretched, getting opened up, getting my heart rate up using my whack-a-moles. So I'm looking forward to it. We start 4th, but it is going to be a spicy first race because this is going to be fairly entertaining.
Green flag is waved. The 2022 Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship season about to get underway. Lights out, it is blast off, and a good stop by Turkington, but a good getaway also by Jake Hill, who claims that inside line on the run down to Redgate. They might be out of the same team. There's no quarter given. Look at this, absolutely fantastic. They touch. Jake Hill on the inside for Hollywood, the outside through the Craters, the inside for the old hairpin. Jake Hill breaks late, locks up, scrabbles through. He's got the lead. Is he going to go wide? Let's see. Here comes Ingram. He's right on the tail of Turkington, who's on the outside of Hill, and Sutton is right back with the big 4th.
Ingram's on the inside, Sutton is behind. They could both go through. This is fantastic racing.
He'll break later. Ingram's got the line. Ingram's got the lead, and look, suddenly it's 6, it's 7 for the lead. Fantastic stuff. Just look at the way that Hill has absolutely stormed onto the back of Turkington. And that's pace, that's hybrid. You can't blame the weight anymore, because as Tim has been making the point, it's the same weight. A little bit of damage picked up on the front as he skims through the chicane.
It's that tyre rubbing though, isn't it?
Yeah. The tyre rubs on the bodywork, so he doesn't want too much more of that. Oh, bit of a slide there. We saw that on his quali lap, actually. He had a bit of a slide there, didn't he?
The smoke is getting worse off Jake Hill's BMW. Look, going down towards Redgate, getting smokier and smokier as the bodywork still rubs against the tyre.
His hybrid's still working though, because we saw the blue light. Yes, getting it. It's just oh, there we go. He's lost that bit. So
last lap, mate. This is the last lap.
Race win as he comes then now down towards the chicane. So the Bristol Street Motors with Accelerate TradePriceCars.com Hyundai is about to give him a 20th career win. And what a way to start the new era of the British Touring Car Championship. Tom Ingram wins for Colin Turkington, second and Jake Hill third.
Good job, mate. We'll take that for a start.
Yeah, it's been a tricky day so far. Obviously, we had a fantastic qualifying yesterday with pole position, and then in race one, me and Colin having a little bit of a scrap allowed the others to come through. So it made racing a little bit tricky, and then I also got some damage from a little bit of mixture from Colin and from the tyre stack, which meant that ultimately when we did get back to third position, we got disqualified because apparently the ride height was too low. But the ride height area, which it was too low, was, I'm not joking, about as big as that. You know, the whole floor of the car cleared, apart from a very small bit that had damage. So pretty pissed off, to be honest, considering we lost a third place due to that. It's just, you know, it's something that's almost unavoidable. I didn't know about the disqualification, obviously, until we'd celebrated the podium, which almost makes it worse, to be honest, because you've done the podium celebrations, you've got your pot and your hat and your interviews and all of that, and obviously the most important thing, points. and now I've been stripped of all of that. So yeah, not happy. My best case is to get into the top 10, reverse grid, and then win the last race.
You're now on the left, P16. How come? Jake got thrown out for ride-up failure. Yep. 16.
16, I said, on the hill went, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, Jake's gone to the back. It's a rule that's, they say, self-inflicted, basically because he hit the barrier that caused the damage. It's a harsh rule. But it's there to stop you, so basically what you could do is you can go and set your car at 50 mil ride height, smash into the barrier on the last lap and go, oh, I've only failed the ride height because I've got damage. That's why it's there. But sometimes it can be a bit harsh.
Round 2 then of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is go, and Colin Turkington goes nowhere. Everybody now has to dodge around him. It's going to be Tom Ingram in the lead as the cars accelerate. Jake Hill, another man on a mission now. He was 20th at the start of the lap, and he's surging his way forward. He's now gained 12 places as he heads down towards the chicane. Tom Ingram is still up front, ahead of George Gamble. Gordon Shedden third. There's only 7 tenths between the top two, but Shedden has done the fastest lap of the race. Jake Hill right with them. Now remember, he only has 8 laps of hybrid use. Some of the others around him have got much more. But he clears Camish, who suddenly drops back in the pack. Butcher, Rowbottom and Hill all jump Camish in a straight line.
Very close at the front. Shedden is getting very close and looking quite aggressive.
Camish versus Plato, absolutely as one. This fight is currently for 12th and 13th places, but it's an absolute zinger of a fight. Down towards the chicane they come.
When one's gone, another one's still behind you, that's the trouble.
Ingram goes a little bit wide. Shedden commits to the outside for the old hairpin. Wide in, tries to get the undercut coming out of the corner.
Both on the hybrid, both the hybrid lights flashing away. They'll still be flashing, going. Look, they're using the hybrid all the way up the hill, both of them. But Shedden gets all the way round the outside.
Stark is straight, they come. These are the race leaders then, who now start lap number 14. The gap 3 tenths of a second. Ingram's not going away. Gordon Shedden certainly can't relax, and Camish is in strife. I'm afraid the Ford has slowed right down.
Well, that's a shame.
This chain, you can get it back out again, even if it's lap down. Ask him.
Ingram knows that Shedden doesn't know when he's using his hybrid, so does he plan to use it when he's not expecting?
Come on, boy, last lap.
How's he going to try and set it up for a pass? Will he save it all to use down a straight? He's flashing his lights, he's giving it full intimidation.
Up towards Coppice, more lights are flashing. So through the yellow flag zone they will come. They're going to be nose to tail, so it's the run now down to the chicane that is Tom Ingram's last opportunity. He is using the hybrid deployment, understandably. He's not quite close enough, is he, to make a lunge up the inside, and so Gordon Shedden turns into the chicane. Ingram could not be closer on the run to the line, but Gordon Shedden is just going to hang on in there for Halfords Racing with Cataclean to win round 2 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship by 0.197 of a second from Tom Ingram.
Yeah, good job, mate, well done. Pick up.
It's been a long day, some challenging times, but yeah, hopefully a good result to cap off the day, yeah.
So Jake Hill starts on pole position for the final race of the weekend, with Dan Lloyd second on the grid and Bobby Thompson starts third alongside Ash Sutton. So green flag waved, round 3 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship set to get underway. Lights go red, lights go out now. It is blast off, and a good start by Hill, not a great start by Bobby Thompson. A good getaway by George Gamble. What about Adam Morgan out of all of that as well? Gamble gets hemmed in on the inside. Morgan goes round the outside of others as they dive down to Redgate. Jake Hill has the advantage then. So Hill getting away, but everybody else in a queue for second.
Big old bunch of cars all up together. Dan Camish coming through there.
Sutton with a good run out of the chicane right there on the back of Lloyd, but Hill is getting away, no question about it. 1 lap done, 6th Bobby Thompson, but he's under attack from Tom Ingram. Ingram in the background to the inside, that is Morgan versus Cook. Into Hollywood they go. You're on board now with Dan Camish. He is running in 17th spot. Now 16th, he's gained a place on this lap. In fact, he's going after Michael Crease and he's hunting for points. Race leader, Jake Hill, getting away from Ash Sutton. 1.5 seconds the margin, and last time around Jake Hill did the fastest lap of the race. And there Ingram dives up the inside of Butcher. That's for position, of course. It is for 6th and he's gone through, elbows out, but Ting goes through. So Tom Ingram picks up the place, goes ahead of Rory Butcher. Yeah, so Camish in 13th. Now that, lest you forget, is the race leader, Jake Hill, who has just disappeared up the road. Here is Ingram alongside Morgan then, coming out of Coppice. Side by side almost, but Ingram on the inside line. He's going to have to leave his braking late, which he does. He lines up for the move on the inside and he goes by. Good driving this by Ingram. Late race. Look, we were talking earlier about keeping some hybrid deployment back, and you can see how he's used it to catch that group and now work his way through. Jake Hill is on target for a first win as a BMW driver, and it is going to be honours in round 3 of the championship. Jake Hill takes the checkered flag. He's victorious at Donington.
Well done. Good job. We're all fist pumping.
Yes! Yeah, started the day quite well, and then didn't go so well after race 1 and not passing scrutineering, but after that we came from the back to the front, and then won race 3, sorry. So yeah.
It's been a interesting day, hasn't it? We've gone from finishing 3rd on the road to having it taken away in race 1, to then starting last and coming all the way back to 9th, and then obviously being picked for reverse grid and winning the last race. So very, very happy to obviously get the first win, the win that I think we should have probably had this morning, but I'm so glad it's happened already, and yeah, just thankful to everyone really. Yeah. I was not in a good place, that's for sure, but I mean, it's how you bounce back, isn't it? I think we could just completely reset the head, reset the car, and just went again, and I've just got to learn to keep that up when and if things do go bad again, like they did so early in the weekend. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad I sorted my head out and got it into a good place, and we had a great race too, and then obviously went on to do what he did there. I mean, there's a little bit of I can't believe my luck for sure, but at the same time, as long as we were near the front, as long as we were sort of top 3, top 4, I was fairly confident that we could still get the job done. The car's been so good today, and I really, have had the best car I've ever had in British touring cars today. So I've got no excuses, and when it got picked, I just thought, well, that's it then. There we go. As long as nothing breaks, we're going to win race 3.
So there we go. Done. Romeo done. First race weekend of the year finished. And it was a pretty good weekend. Really good weekend, in fact. Race 1 win, 2nd in race 2, 4th in race 3. Peachy. We like that. It's a good start to the year. We've done a good job. Guys and girls packed down now. The car's going to go back to the workshop, have a full strip down, ready for the next round of the season at Brands, which we cannot wait to get started for. So I'm very happy with how the weekend's gone. I'm going to get back, I'm going to give the dog a cuddle, and I'm going to have a big pizza, I think.
Brands Hatch Indy, little roller coaster. I love it. It's my home circuit for a start, so it has a lot of sort of sentimental value, I guess, to me and to my family. And it's going to be slightly different this coming weekend because they've resurfaced it.
It's going to sound like a really stupid fact, but it's very short. And with it being very short, it means that everything's really, really close and tight together. So you've got to put the perfect lap together to be able to get pole. I used to, whether I still do, I don't know. I used to have the lap record, I think it was a 47, I've got that in there. It was a 47.9, I think. Whether that stayed, I don't know, but I had it for a couple of years at least.
It's built into kind of a natural bowl. Certainly one that's fantastic for the fans and the viewers. If you've never had a chance to be on track or even walk the track, you'll be shocked at just how steep Paddock Hill is. It's an incredibly steep corner. One of the best corners probably in British motorsport we have. I've always enjoyed coming here, and hopefully it'll be kind to me this time.
wasn't the weekend I hoped for at Donington, and therefore I wasn't in the position I wanted to be, and therefore I had hybrid available all the time, as did all the people around me. And the thing is, when we all have it at the same time and we've all got exactly the same amount to use, it's hard to say whether it really affects the racing at all. We've all been racing quite a while. We can all look at a track layout and say, look, this is where we should be using it.
The racing hasn't changed, which is a good thing. If anything, it's got slightly better. Every time you get a run on someone now, it's a challenge to see whether they're using hybrid or we're using hybrid.
It's nice that, from a driver's perspective, the car feels good. Because that was always the problem when we had success ballast in the past. You'd go, well done, you've won a race. Now have a rubbish car. You wouldn't be able to stop, you wouldn't be able to get through the corners, you wouldn't be able to get it off the corners, so it just felt a bit crap. Well, now it's like, you know, well done, you've won a race. Here's still a good car, see what you can get out of it. And in that respect, it's really enjoyable.
Straight down the ground. That is the line right there. That is a bit of a secret, a bit of an in. Bet you've got to know that one. So this one, located next to the biscuit tin, currently ginger nuts. This one is my first ever British touring car win. Last year's 2021 championship winning trophy from Porsche. I do have a bit of a clean actually, but. And this trophy means a lot to me. This was actually winning at Le Mans in 2017. I won the support race. 62 Carrera Cup cars, I think, took the start of that race, and I won on the last lap. So that was a cool race. Well worth a watch on YouTube. 4 of us in a slipstreaming contest on the last lap. So that was pretty cool. Formula Ford ace Dan's got his sights set on touring cars. That was 2013 when I was winning in Formula Ford. I won 24 races that year. Out of the 24 I actually took part in, so it was a record-breaking year for me. The prize at the end of the year was a test in the Motorbase Ford Focus, and because of the Ford connection we tried really hard to find some sponsorship to get me into the Ford. It's quite nice now to be there at Motorbase. It feels like I've come full circle. You know, that was the first touring car I ever drove. Formula 2, people probably don't know that I did a bit of Formula 2. Tested a few times. After Formula Renault I had to go in an F2 car, Jonathan Palmer's F2 Championship. This is quite cool as well. The Autosport Awards voting list, you sort of go down the names, Jack Aitken, Dan Camish, Lando Norris. You know, one day, you know, you can look back and hopefully show kids or grandkids, you know, your name was right next to you know, one of the current Formula 1 superstars. Is pretty cool, and just across from Lewis Hamilton in there. Sometimes I forget that it's just nice to be even have your name printed on the same page as these guys. Donington was a shocker. I can't remember a sort of a worse start to a season really. I believe it was the fuel rail that failed. The fuel came out under such high pressure that that's why it took so long to get the flames out really. And yeah, quite a lot of damage done. So, you know, we've got to hit the ground running this weekend. You know, a fresh start. My season, as far as I'm concerned, starts at Brands Hatch.
Who was second, has had his lap time disallowed for exceeding track limits.
They are a team that is struggling. They just can't find the right balance on this car.
And now Ash Sutton's had a time disallowed. Over the timing line is Jake Hill. He has gone fastest on a 47.706 by 21 thousandths.
The BMW's handling well, but I still don't think we've seen the best of the front-wheel drive cars yet. And now we're on board with Tom Ingram, championship leader. No improvement on that lap. 3.5 tenths off.
Copy that, we get next set tyres, we get data at the same time.
Camish has improved. He's just got in the top 10 with 9.
It's nice to actually get to the end of qualifying. I mean, it's probably a bit hotter here today than it was in the car that day, to be honest. Buoyed to be in the top 10, but also disappointed to only be half a tenth away from the top 3 or 4. I think there's 5 BMWs in the top 7 or something. You know, it's quite clearly a day that suited the BM.
Josh Cook weaving about a bit. That's implying he's on his second set of tyres.
The front-wheel drive cars, you know, the front tyres go off so quickly, and that's one thing that maybe the public don't really understand so much, is just how much the heat affects the front-wheel drive cars, but yet brings the rear-wheel drive cars into a better place.
Now, Colin Turkington, absolute best sector 1. He's heading up towards the timing line then and goes on to pole position.
His 25th pole position.
0.167 of a second quicker than Jake Hill.
We knew we were going to be maybe a little on the back foot because we came into the championship leading. It meant we had no hybrid. For me to be lining up right up at the sharp end, it's where we wanted to be. It's exactly where we wanted to be qualifying. Could murder a beer now, to be honest.
Yeah, clearly we're right. Yeah.
We're starting at wets, so we'll see what it's like. Just do the green flag laps and then make a call on the grid.
Adverse weather conditions start, so we've got to queue up here. When the first car arrives on the grid, we've got 12 minutes.
Went back a little bit on the damping on the rear. Just softened it off a little.
30 seconds to the first of 2 green flag laps. 30 seconds.
Round 4 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship, and it's go, and who makes the best start? Good getaway by Josh Cook, but then Adam Morgan comes across on him, and Jake Hill makes a better start from the outside of the camber grid. Jake Hill is on the tail of Colin Turkington for the race lead.
Yeah, interesting. Jake Hill made probably the better start, didn't he? But he very much did not fight or challenge Turkington into turn 1.
Stephen Jelly holding up Josh Cook, the leading front-wheel drive car.
Cook's quick in these conditions.
George Gamble fighting with Tom Ingram. Dan Camish looking to get in up on the inside. Look, Jake Hill's now getting quite a bit more racy. We know Jake is great in these conditions.
And all the while, of course, Stephen Jelly delaying Josh Cook, meaning that these two, even if they do hold each other up, aren't going to be monstered by anybody from a rival team. Contact there, that was Camish and Gamble getting together, but Dan Camish is ahead.
So you've got to look after these cars.
There's the gap on the inside going into paddock. Josh Cook goes 3rd, and that could be significant if the 2 leaders now start holding each other up. He's got the inside line. He'll be on the hybrid deployment, no doubt, as he comes over the line down towards paddock. Jake Hill tries to cover off that line, but Josh keeps on coming. He's up the inside. Hill goes deep into the corner. Josh Cook goes 2nd.
He was using it there. Tyres just fell away really quickly. Cook managed to come and catch us up then at that point. Got past, he managed to make it to Turkington.
1st and 2nd now really within touching distance.
Josh Cook takes over the race lead at paddock. Brilliant stuff.
Hill's gone through on Turkington. Hill's through on Turkington for 2nd place, and immediately behind is Ingram.
I got past Colin and started to hunt down Cook, and I thought we're on. Cars starting to go live again.
Jake Hill might yet be able to come back at Josh Cook.
And then I just snatched the rear brakes and partly the wet line as well into paddock, and it just dragged me through the gravel.
But that's Jake Hill off the road at paddock, so Ingram gets ahead of him.
Something to do with the gear cut. It just snapped on the brakes, and then he just went off, and then he thought he had a puncture or something because of that.
Camish has passed Turkington. Turkington's dropped another place.
This is for the race lead. You can see how much closer Tom Ingram is. It is a win for Josh Cook as he comes across the line to win from Tom Ingram, and then in 3rd it is Dan Camish.
It's just great to get points on the board. It's great to get a podium. You know, my first in Napa colours, and it feels like we're back.
The season starts now for Dan Camish.
Yeah, that's my first podium in a touring car in a fair while, so it's nice that I can still do it. So the confidence will grow from here.
Well done, congratulations. Tom Ingram in second place. The winning account is opened for Josh Cook, everybody. Well done. Come on, Josh.
A bit gutted about that because I thought we could have quite happily at least had a P2 on the cards, which would have been great. It is what it is. We still finished 4th, still a lot of points, which is great. And now we can just move forward, hopefully, for race 2.
Just got wet.
WSR, they're saying that they just didn't get quite the right setup. They dropped the spring rates for the greasy conditions, but not enough. They like wet, they like dry. Those cars don't like intermediate conditions, and that is exactly what we have again. And Jake Hill is away like a stab rat. A fantastic start round the outside. He's up into second place. The slow start made by Dan Camish there in the blue and yellow Ford. Here comes Hill for the race lead. And Josh Cook in the Honda dives across the road to prevent him from doing so.
He parked it on the apex here so he can't pull out.
It's easier to do that in a front wheel drive car though, because you've got the turn in. It doesn't wash out.
Butcher, wow, what a late break that was on the damp part of the track. Will he run wide and let Hill get back inside? Hill's forcing it, 2 wheels on the grass, and Hill's back into second place, and through goes Camish.
Dan Camish in the blue and yellow Ford Focus goes ahead of the Toyota. Now the fastest lap of the race has gone to Tom Ingram, and it's important because there's another point at stake for the fastest lap, and that could be crucial come the end of the season. Butcher back up the inside of Camish, retakes third place, and there is Butcher out wide.
Oh, Rory's off.
And that spoils all the hard work because Dan Camish goes back ahead of him. This is Camish's chance to challenge on the inside.
Oh, but Hill slides wide, he went in too quick, and he spins.
Camish is on a mission. See the way he stormed up to catch Hill, and straight away he's on the back of Cook. Camish goes to the outside, the checkered flag awaits. How about this? To finish a British Touring Car Championship race, they're going to be nose to tail, and Josh Cook is the first double winner of the season. Dan Camish second, Rory Butcher was right back with them in third.
Hill will be really kicking himself. He needs to eradicate these small errors in his driving.
It looked like we'll run for a second place, maybe first there, but we just ran out of grip coming up into Druids, and yeah, Jig's done well to recover it to bring the car home in 7th anyway, but yeah, tough. It's so tricky out there.
You try and do things to the best of your ability, and sometimes you just make small mistakes. So I'm annoyed with myself because it should have been so much more. Okay, it was a pretty good drive in total, but still annoyed with myself.
Good job. That's good. Oliver. Thank you. Oh, and West Ham are beating Man City.
Yes. Dan Camish. To the second step of the podium he goes with a huge cheer and a second podium of the day.
How would I word it? I think there's this image of me that I'm very intense, very driven, moody, kind of serious racing driver. Just a real intensity, which is actually kind of not true in many respects once you get to know me and if you see me away from certain aspects.
We go racing, and look at Jake Hill absolutely surging through the pack. And that's Rory Butcher running out of road, and that is Jason Plato in the gravel already.
Safety car, racing lights and balls.
A rocket start, quite literally, for Jake Hill, but he just had nowhere to go. He ran out of room.
Smooth operator.
Turkington's building the gap. Jake Hill is stuck in the traffic now.
Maybe Hill's being a little bit more circumspect after the errors from the previous race, but he does need to get a push on. His hybrid light was flashing in the rear three-quarter window, and he does pull past Thompson.
Go on.
Interesting watching the two different lines through that final corner, the rear-wheel drive cars all favouring that outside line, while the front-wheel drive cars favour the inside line. Oh, Ingram sees the door open and dives inside his teammate.
Pace is good at that. There's only Colin who's faster than you.
Tom, again, thinking about points, thinking about winning this championship that he really so badly wants to do. And Colin Turkington takes the checkered flag. He is victorious at Brands Hatch, a 61st career win from Jake Hill in second place, and Bobby Thompson a really, really good third. His best ever touring car result, an overall podium for the first time.
Yeah, it was a tough one. We lost some front performance, so whether that's in a tyre or something that we've done, we didn't really change too much between race 2 and 3, so we're hanging on at the end there, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot to think about, there was a lot to process. Every time we've been out there, the circuit's been different.
So I've crossed my fingers that it would dry out a bit more, and it never really did. But we go away buoyed, we got some points, 2 podiums, which is fantastic off the back of a really tough Donington. It was great to bounce back, and we had to bounce back. It was important that I got my season started.
Our cars worked a lot better in the wet conditions. I made a couple of really good overtakes. My start was lightning, which I'm very proud of. I finally got it right.
They are, at the moment, I think for out and out speed, in perfect conditions, they are the fastest car. I'd say they're the fastest car by a little bit of a margin right now. We've got a car that's very fast at both ends of the spectrum, but in the middle, kind of struggles. At the moment, we can be fast throughout all. We just need to unlock something in this focus that we're kind of missing at the moment.
Thruxton next, so yeah, looking forward to that. The BMW's apparently never been that strong there. I know what we need to work on now, just in terms of what we need to do during the race weekend, but yeah, I'm pleased. It's a good day. Feeling very good, sun shining, we're at Thruxton.
All smiles so far. Friday afternoon, sat in the sunshine, I'm all smiles. Let's hope we're all smiles come Sunday afternoon.
Feeling good, feeling in good shape. Isn't this lovely? Thruxton as a circuit, what's it like? Oh, well, it's a bit scary.
Thruxton is fast, that's what Thruxton's like. Fastest track in the country, I believe.
It's a bit fast, it's a bit bumpy.
Oh, Thruxton's great. A lot of people potentially scared of it. I love it.
But it's a circuit I've actually quite enjoyed. It is definitely on the scary side. It's scarier than most because you just kind of hang on to the car. I don't think it's quite as critical on having a good engine. You need a good chassis around here as well, and also a large pair of braveries to make sure you're getting quick out the back. But I enjoy it. It's a great circuit.
It's really on the limit. It's one of them places that kind of separates the men from the boys, certainly out the back, when it's borderline flat. Yeah, I enjoy that kind of risk and reward element.
And it's a ballsy track, no question. Noble, Goodwood and Church are 3 corners that, if you get wrong, you're at risk of having a big accident.
If you get it wrong, it normally bites. We haven't been around here in the wet for quite a while, so at some point it's going to rain and it's going to make it entertaining.
Our first of 2 visits this season to Thruxton, to the UK's fastest circuit, as we get set for round 7 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship.
It's good, obviously you want to be leading. Leading is good. Leading is good and bad, actually.
So going into this session, championship leader Tom Ingram, 0 seconds of hybrid use. So Tom Ingram goes into this really with a fight on his hands. Green flag is waved, and so the cars go out of the pit lane team by team by team. Cargods with Sicily Motorsport BMWs go, the Napa Racing UK Fords, operated by Motorbase. There is Jake Hill, who was in feisty form at both Donington and Brands, racing at Spa last week in historic, so he's got to get that out of his brain and modern day touring cars back in.
Yeah, interesting. Quite a lot of the front-wheel drive cars staying out to do a second warming up lap before they cross their tyres. Some cars are in the pits, notably the Accelerate cars of Tom Ingram, Chilton and Jack Butel.
Adam Morgan goes top briefly on a 16.6, but that's going to change. Jake Hill goes over the line and he does a 16.3, so that puts him to the top of the times. So that is Jake Hill going over the timing line, and Jake goes quickest, 1:15.387. Right, Tom Ingram is good to go. Now, where is the championship leader? 5th at the moment in the times. Right, next one to look for is Dan Camish, who is 6th, and he has done a personal best in the middle sector, a bit like Rowbottom.
Can he hook this last sector? He's using the last of his hybrid look across the line. And again, he doesn't improve. I'm just wondering whether the circuit's got a bit slower.
Jake Hill still the fastest. Tom Ingram's best lap is a 15.7, and that lap generates a 15.713. It's his best, but he stays 7th. Cook, Hill, Camish, Turkington, Sutton, Rowbottom, Plato, Ingram, Shedden, Jelly. That is the order at the moment, and very, very few improvements coming in sectors, so I think that order is going to hold. Now, Tom Ingram here, the championship leader, was looking spectacular, I should have said, rather than is.
I bought mate before the start sector watch to save these tyres.
Having a go, I think, in the first sector. Had that generated an improvement, he would have stayed at it, but he's down in sector 1, so he aborts the lap.
That is a good feeling to have, to be leading the way. It does come with its penalties in the sense that gone are the days of carrying a baby elephant in the passenger seat, so we have to have a reduced amount of hybrid deployment.
Let's just look at the order then. Josh Cook tops qualifying at Thruxton. Josh Cook ahead of Jake Hill and Dan Camish.
Well done, boys. Take that.
All right.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, Gav. Well done, mate. You got a wheel gun and stuff? Yeah. Got safeties. We need stuff for a fuel sample as well. Yeah, you take them. I'll take these. Off we go. Just waiting on the cars to be released from Park Fermi, and then there's a few scrutineering checks for the top, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 cars in qualifying. Yeah, good result. It would have been nice to win pole, but second still really good. So.
So these just put time at the end. Camish, Turks, on that last set. No, I mean with pretty much no hybrid as well, that's pretty...
That's what I mean, I've not got 4 tenths. Not a chance. Sweating like a sweaty thing. No! It is hot! Oh.
It does favour the brave. You know, it's one of them circuits where, yes, a bit of bravery will get you a lap time out, but it might also lead to you being stood watching by about lap 3 or 4. You know, it's controlled aggression, I think, is the right word.
Josh Cook, first pole of the year, lines up at the front with Jake Hill alongside. Dan Camish 3rd, his best qualifying of the year too, alongside Colin Turkington and then Ash Sutton.
There's not a lot of margin for error, especially sort of lap 1 when you're heading down there in the pack.
Round 7 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship from Thruxton is go.
You know, your heart's in your mouth at times, you know, because at that speed, you know, once the car's sort of loaded and pitched in, any kind of tap at that point, you know, I think quite quickly it can all go wrong from there.
Your interview with him, didn't he, about how to tackle the Campbell Crop Seagrave complex. Oh, and sideways goes one of the Fords. I think that's Camish. I think it's Camish.
Oh! Pit crew be ready for Dan. At the very least, we're going to be taking some grass out of this. What's the temperature?
There may have been a bit of contact involving Dan Rowbottom's Honda. Also, one of the Hyundais got involved in all of that and scooped a load of grass up. Potentially Tom Ingram.
Copy, we need to box then, box. Through no fault of your own, there's nothing you can do to control it. It's just grass that's left on the, after the guys have mown the grass, they just leave the grass behind and it just gets collected up, so you're stuck. As soon as that blocks your intake, there's nothing you can do. You've got to pit and get rid of it.
And Ingram is in the pits with a problem. Championship leader.
Don't forget, he got involved in that drama on the first lap.
You're
His
right.
was the Hyundai that's probably scooped up a load of grass. That's where they are at the front, look. So the temperatures will have been going sky high.
He had no option but to come in. Now he's just got to hope for a safety car and maybe pick up a few points later.
It looks like you are 29th, but when you cross the start finish, we'll find out for sure.
And all hail the King of Thruxton. Josh Cook takes the checkered flag to win for the third time this year. He fends off Jake Hill, the margin 9/10 of a second at the end. Great defensive drive by Ash Saturn. He takes third from Colin Turkington, Dan Rowbottom, and then Jason Plato.
Great job, mate. P21 at the end because Shedden dropped out. I mean, last lap was a 16.8, so the pace was awesome.
Maybe
just one of them.
Maybe I shouldn't have positioned myself there.
Nah.
Could be an argument.
No, you were doing two of them on the outside.
Such a right. If I'd have backed off, we'd probably been fine as well. I almost had to go for it. But like mega start.
Yeah.
Spot on positioning where we need to be.
We had the pace to win as well.
Did we?
Yeah. Second a lap quicker than all the front runners consistently every lap.
I still had 3 laps of hybrid at the end. I thought.
Did you? Just save it.
I thought I'd rather keep sending the battery. Although stupidly, when I went for my fastest lap, I didn't use any hybrid, did I? Because I've been so trained for fast lap. You've got hybrid. And then after that, I've got hybrid to use.
Balls.
So that's why the next lap was a 10th off because they used hybrid.
So who hit damage?
No idea. Some.
Oh mate, that sucks.
Some wits. Yeah, maybe I should have had a more sensible head on my shoulders, but I think
you didn't expect that though. I never expected that.
No, you know, I've done that move 40 times over the years. Every time, never had any problems. It's only the fact that somebody tipped Camish into a. I don't know who it was. Somebody tipped Camish into a spin, and as he was coming across, I
stuck.
Had nowhere to go. Anyway.
And the next one.
Felt pretty good.
Move on.
Good start. Nice temperature.
I've always been a strong believer in that you make your own luck. However, this year I'm being proved wrong because Dan has just ended up in situations totally out of his doing.
What happened? Disaster at Thruxton is what happened. Race 1. And I sort of go to turn in and just get an almighty hit from the rear. Yeah, bit of a disaster. I mean, from my side, you watch the TV back and they're going to say it's 50-50 and it's a racing incident. Ultimately, all it's done is wreck my weekend. I was a lap down, puncture, start at the back, next one. With any luck and an almighty drive, maybe I'll get into the top 12 and maybe, just maybe, I'll get a bit of luck and we'll get some reverse balls. But to be honest, it just makes you wonder what's the point. You know, you can watch it. What's the point in trying to win a race on lap 1? All it does is spoil someone's day, and today it's been my day. You kind of got to wonder where my luck's gone this year. At the moment, the championship's nothing but a pipe dream. I can forget that. I think I'm now here to try and win some races, and that's the best I think we'll do.
He wears his heart on the sleeve, so you know, but he knows it's not through fault of us or his driving. He just knows. He just knows we just need something to change, and it needs to change quickly.
Today at Thruxton, it's time to go racing. Lights go red, round 9 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is underway with a good start made by Adam Morgan, who storms round Plato, and Turkington goes with him. It's a BMW 1-2. Jake Hill is in the mix. Up Woodham Hill they come. Jake Hill is in the mix as well against Tom Ingram, and then the leaders flick through the chicane. There's the contact. Chilton gets into Jelly. but you see the way the BMWs are pulled away. Hill trying to find a way past Ingram. A drama there, that was Jake Hill getting involved with Ingram on the chicane.
Jake was up the inside but couldn't really stop the car.
Yeah, it was on TV, mate. Let's keep pushing, let's get the cut.
Oh, Camish is on. What a disastrous weekend.
There was contact from Aaron Taylor-Smith that turns the Ford around in the chicane.
Can't retire. We don't want to retire. We don't manufacture points.
Mechanical warning flag, Jake Hill. The left front corner, the bodywork, the wheel arch peeling off, and the back of it as well. But if that rips off and flies into the face of another car, it could be quite serious. So the scrutineers, they want that car in, they want that bodywork ripped off, send him back out into the race.
Must box it back, must box it back, please confirm.
They were catching the BMW. He gave it everything, and hats off to him.
Head down, mate, see if we get a safety car.
I'm annoyed really because the start was pretty sensible, had a good start and into the first complex. You know, the race was going quite well after the safety car until I went for a move into the chicane, got alongside, well, definitely got my nose in alongside him, and he just put me on the grass in the braking zone, and unfortunately we've crashed and banged into each other, and what that's meant is that I've had to come in then have my rear bumper ripped off due to the contact, so it's ruined my race. Just a bit deflated really, because we've had such a good day. We've had 2 second places, which is fantastic, and yet all my rivals have done very well in that last race, and we're not scoring. So I'm just deflated really, because it's been a good day and it's ended on a low, which is never ideal.
Over the course of 30 races, 30 races is a long season, 10 weekends, and you can't win every weekend and you can't win every race, so you have to take the rough with the smooth. And I think what's key from a psychological point of view is to always look forward and to not let those instances get you down. If it happens too often, especially at the start of the season, it's difficult, because you're just facing an uphill battle to come back from that.
Oh, race 3 done and dusted. It was fairly busy. It was difficult though. I mean, this place is both fantastic and also enormously frustrating. I saw Jake had a bit of a run coming out of church, coming up Woodham Hill into the club chicane. Checked in the mirror again just before I hit the brakes, got on the brakes, and the next thing I know, Jake's come up the inside and we've made contact. So I think whatever goes on is a bit late. Whilst I'm on the brakes, my car can't move. I can't suddenly change direction of my car. So I think it was just a bit late, to be honest. I think he ended up getting caught on the grass on the inside as well, which locked her right front and bounced into us. So I had to take avoiding action, bounce across the inside of the chicane and keep going, but it didn't help both of us. But I don't think Jake really needed to do it. He seemed to have good pace. He was keen to get past, I think, keen to try and make a move and get gone, but got to the end. But there we go, that's the story of the Jake Hill incident. How's that for you? I've got a terrible track record at Alton. I don't know what happens. Every year I turn up to Alton, disaster strikes.
And that's Colin Turkington.
End up getting caught up in incidents and all that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping, however many years of going to Alton Park and getting bad luck or just general chaos, and come back fighting, I think.
We are good to go racing then. That 5-second board is displayed to the drivers. The final race of the day. The lights go out, they blast away from the line. Good start by Jelly.
Yeah, it was Dan Lloyd making that charge down the inside to that. Oh, now we've got a big goal. That's Dan Lloyd. That's Dan Lloyd mid-turn.
Oh. Safety car, safety car. Yeah, that was a massive one.
What are these? Yorkshire tea. So no, we started work on this realistically December last year. This will eventually be the kitchen, dumping ground for skirting boards and architraves and saws and stuff like this, and kitchen kitchen door samples and yeah, you name it, it's just become a bit of a dumping ground. So as I say, if it was full time, you'd probably have done 6 months, I reckon. You'd hope to have got it done in 6 months, but because we've obviously got all the other bits and pieces that are going on, it just drags on. So sofas are covered up, everything is covered up. Laura has the best seat in the house.
The only seat in the house.
The only place you can sit at the minute is in the windowsill, which is actually quite nice, because it's quite a nice place because you get a bit of sun. The only complete room that we have in here is the bathroom, ironically. Despite no door, so if you do have to go for a wee or a poo here, it's very much a public viewing. I go in waves, I'm actually really enjoying it, and then we go in waves of saying, oh, we don't enjoy it at all. I suppose in some ways it's been quite a nice distraction to have something else to focus on as well. And it's been Laura and I with a bit of help from friends and family. We've completely stripped it back to bare brick and started again. So it's been a hell of a project. We've learned a lot along the way. I really enjoyed doing it as well. Picked up some cool skills, picked up some blisters, picked up some splinters, but it's actually been really good fun. So there used to be a wardrobe here. So that used to go into the other side of the bathroom, so it enclosed the bathroom in loads. So I knocked all this out. Dad came up and helped me do it actually, and took the wall out, and actually massively stressful because I'd never done anything before. I was 98% sure that if I took that wall down, the house wasn't going to fall down, but I wasn't completely certain. So when we took the last brick out, I sort of knocked it out and waited. Okay, the house doesn't fall down, so we're pretty good. Yeah, it's quite the opposite from, as you say, spraying champagne on the podium on a Sunday night to fitting skirting boards on a Monday morning, and then laying a patio and then painting walls and fitting glass and doing this and all sorts of other bits and pieces that we were getting involved in. So it's quite the contrast, but it's been, honestly, it's a good project. I've enjoyed doing it. I think in a weird kind of way I'll be disappointed when it's finished, but then I'll probably want to try and start another one then.
Well, it's Alton Park time.
What's Alton Park like?
Alton Park for me, over the years it's been pretty good. It's never been my favourite circuit with results. I hold the lap record. Sick. I never knew that.
It's definitely one of the busiest laps I think we do during the whole year. I love that undulation and that up and down and blind crests and stuff like that.
Alton Park is always for me like the start of summer, because it's usually quite warm, it's usually quite sunny, and I'm usually sniffing and sneezing profusely with hay.
I think usually when I come here, I've had some good races, then I've got here and actually it's kind of not gone my way. Whereas at the moment it's not going my way, and I hope that I get here and it changes around and have a great day. So that's what I'm pinning it on.
We were here obviously with the Ford Focus last year when I was driving for Motorbase, and coming here this time with the BMW, it's one of the BMW's favourite circuits. So I think we're gonna be all right.
It's our annual visit to Alton Park as we head to the northwest of England for rounds 10, 11 and 12 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship.
So we're going to go out straight back in there, mate. Get as hot as you can.
It is currently the fastest. Well, Ingram has just done the absolute best in the first sector. So there is Tom Ingram, and he's on a mission. You can see the way the car is bouncing around the road. This is one of Tom's fully committed laps. Dan Camish has just gone fourth on a 1:25.8. But Ingram is set to go even better than a 25.6. He breaks the beam now, and it's a 25.4.
And that is a new qualifying record, so well done, Tom. That car looked exciting, didn't it, on that lap?
Yeah, Steve, great job, mate. That's still P1 by 2.5 tenths.
Look, someone's on the grass. It's
Jake
Hill.
Hill. So he's brought a load of muck onto the racetrack. He's absolutely clogged up the front.
Careful, there is lots of in the front. Be careful of the brake temps and engine temp. Be very careful. We need to box and clear. We'll have time to go again. Box and we'll clear the radiator. So don't jack it up, just clear it and send it, yeah?
So he's probably going to run out of time. Damn, he's cross with himself.
Someone ran him off.
Caught the tilt. Came straight out of the pitch.
Right, okay. I didn't see that bit, but he was certainly effing and jeffing on the radio about it, so.
Oh, he had contact.
With Chilton.
Oh.
That was Tom Chilton.
Wow. Well, that could have been so much worse, couldn't it?
Tom Chilton was coming out of the pit lane. Tom Chilton was leaving the pits, and therefore, as he came back onto the racetrack, here it is. Jake Hill suddenly finds himself having to dodge Chilton, and there was contact, and that put him off the road. So
that was completely Chilton. Did not see him.
Got to stay at that, no more.
9.
No.
100.
No. Park it.
Park it.
Park it without blocking the track. Park it without blocking the track. Park it without blocking the track, please.
100 degrees.
The visibility is not great from that point. There's a real blind spot, but Tom really shouldn't have moved over at that point.
Whereabouts on the track? You can't just creep
Where
back.
are you, mate? Where are you?
Check. Don't just clean it, check for damage as well.
Yeah. Car looks fine, so we'll get going again and just keep an eye on the temp. We've got 4 minutes, so we might be able to get going. While you're finding yourself a gap, try and keep it in clean air if you can, mate. We will get another lap after this one.
And a second red flag. And that's the reason. It's Aidan Moffat down at Island Bend. So Aidan Moffat, with under a minute, has brought out the red flag.
Oh, Copy that, mate, copy that.
You won't reset that again, mate.
When everything's going well, when the car's quick, when you're getting results, when everyone's happy, it's a fantastic place to be. When it's the other end of the spectrum where either you've gone off through no fault of your own, or even if it is a driver fault or if it's a car failure or anything like that, then the key thing is then picking your driver up, picking your crew up, and most importantly, picking yourself up.
Session will not be restarted. Is confirmed on the screen. Tom Ingram fastest by 0.186 of a second. That's a great bounce back after Thruxton, going from the championship lead down to 4th.
End of session.
End of session. End of session, red flag, end of session. That's P1. Good job, mate. Great job. Awesome result, yeah. I think it's our first pole for the team, first pole for Hyundai, so made up with that. By a little way as well, nearly 2/10, so.
Tom's come and stood outside our garage to apologise, mate, so let's just keep it nice and calm and sensible. Yeah, we'll go up the bus, but let's keep it sensible with Tom. He's stood here waiting to apologise.
Don't worry about it. All done and dusted. Put it behind you.
So slow. Where's our teammates?
Collins P10 is not like in top 5 or anything.
Nothing in it.
5 places behind him. Terrible.
He's not your problem.
No, I know.
Don't worry about that. All right?
You've got to do our own thing tomorrow, mate.
Yeah.
Ingram got pole.
Yeah. I must admit, they are
flying.
They're on the money.
But they haven't been the last few. They've struggled the last few. It started well,
Yeah.
and had a dip, and
Only saw a bit on the screen, but it's quite obvious what it is.
Yeah. Mate.
Once he got to the end of the white line, he just turned stage left.
You need to go and get him some bigger glasses.
And get Sean to...
yeah, I did. Thank you, mate.
Yeah,
Cheers, buddy.
I still think it should, I appreciate the apology, but
Yeah, no, it still needs something doing about it, for sure.
it's not.
You've got to keep it in concert. We're not rapid, but we're not slow. We're to put it together. We'd have got a second run at it.
It's the hardest lap I've ever put together in my life. That's like worst qualifying for a while, isn't it? I don't like being off the front row.
No.
It sucks.
I would have taken row 2 though.
How the worm has turned. 15th used to be good.
If you work on a good race car, which the BMW certainly is, it's an easier car to engineer. So when it's not quite in the window, you work hard, but equally that's fun. So when you go from a place where you're struggling with car setup, and then by the time qualifying or race 1 rolls around and you've got it right, it's a rewarding thing. But I'd say it's the more psychological side of keeping yourself and everyone in the right position mentally. That's, I think, is the hardest part of the job.
Right. From pole then, mate.
From pole.
I think it's a good place to be. It's at least round here it's going to be tight to overtake. Whatever goes on, it's going to be difficult to get past. But it's going to be that first lap that I think is going to be difficult.
First corner in particular.
Yeah.
first couple.
Yeah.
So
it's just that hairpin, getting the run down to the hairpin, because you only need somebody to have locked up further back, and it's chaos. But I think we're quick enough.
Yeah, I do. So what's the plan for turn 1?
I think it's going to be dictated by the start. I think if I've got a good launch, I've got to stick to a racing line.
Get a gap.
Yeah. I think there'll be a safety car, but there wasn't one, for a while last year. So I just can't. My plan is to try and get away. I think we're quick enough. We're nearly 2 tenths in quali spec. So if we can just get away and get gone and get a gap.
Yeah, lovely. So on that theory, with deployment, instead of leaving it all till the end, we could use a couple of laps early on to try and get ourselves a gap and a nice a buffer.
I think that would be good. Yeah.
Especially when the tyres are fresh. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly that, because that's potentially when we're going to get a bigger effect. It'd be worth just having a little note that you'll have it on there already, but just in terms of what deployment everyone else has around us. Obviously, Butcher's going to be fairly punchy with it.
Have a lot more, yeah.
Yeah, but just at least so we've got something in knowledge of what's going on. You don't get a proper sign of deployment, do you, on TSL?
No, it's just on the ITV. ITV coverage whenever they decide to show it.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad chat, to be honest, mate. Try and utilise it early to try and get a gap.
At least a couple of laps. Just get a buffer and then.
We still should have what have we got? 8 laps have we, or 7 laps? I think we've got. It's not a bad amount to have. So yeah, I think that first corner is going to be important. I think that's where Royal try and launch his attack. So I watched it in the week. That's where he was always trying to be quite strong on the first lap. Was into the hairpin. Just got to be aware of that.
Okay, there's obviously a BM behind him as well, so
that's what I'm hoping.
Get the jump on the BM with a rocket start.
I'm almost hoping that we can that Adam can get in the mix of that. Because if Adam ends up in the mix, then we should hopefully just be able to get away. He's going to be quick for that first, at least off the line, and then hopefully that causes enough chaos that we can escape. We shall see.
Brilliant, that's the plan.
There we go. Nail it.
This is round 10 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship. It is race 1 of the day. It is Alton Park as the lights go red. The lights will go out to release the cars. Now it is blast off, and we'll see who makes the best start with Adam Morgan's BMW, the first rear-wheel drive car on the grid, making a good start. Butcher comes up to the outside of Ingram on the run to Old Hall Corner. Tom Ingram's Hyundai on the inside. Rory Butcher tries the outside line, but he can't find a way through.
But Ingram has done the main part of the work. He needs to defend into the island hairpin on this lap 1. You see the cars queuing up down the outside.
Learning to do this weekend, and that is musician Rick Parfitt having a wild old ride there. 24, the black BMW on the outside line there against Sam Osborne. They try to go side by side through his locks, and it's there Sam Osborne that gets roughed up and put onto the grass.
You saw how many. Oh, that's Ash Hand.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit on the water temp side, but the thing is so slow in a straight line now due to the damage. Everyone seems to be attacking me. I mean, to be honest, they're all driving like idiots.
There is the race leader, Tom Ingram, with Rory Butcher not being able to go with him. Again, he's having to go defensive against Dan Lloyd.
3 rear-wheel drive cars all together, look. And they need to give each other room. There's contact there. Butcher gives him some room, but are there still yellow flags down at the hairpin?
Through he goes. Ash Sutton commits to the move. He's gone through. The yellows are in, so that's legit.
Gap to Sutton is now 3 seconds.
Tom Ingram has done an outstanding job, and he's on target for his first Alton Park win since 2013. He is going for his 21st win, that is, within the British Touring Car Championship. It's a win for Tom Ingram at Alton Park as he crosses the line to win round 10 of the championship.
Great job, you made it look easy.
Well done, guys.
Fantastic.
Well done, Spenny.
Brilliant. Did it well, you just kept the gap.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, isn't it? Right, we'll see it part for May, darling.
Second win of the year, Tom Ingram.
To start the weekend with being strong in P1, P2, and then going to qualifying, get a pole. It's just been fantastic. It really, really has been a great weekend. Cars just felt so hooked up. I've not had any complaints at all. If we can carry on like this for the rest of the year, I'll be well happy.
Just finished race 1. Jake got a bit of damage first lap. He's crumpled the bonnet and sort of affected our cooling system. So managed to finish the race in 13th, so we still get a couple of points. But now we've got a really short turnaround before the next race, and we've got a bit of work on. So yeah, best get to it.
We turned up with a good car Saturday, made it better for free practice than for quali, obviously, a big step, and then we've left it alone, really.
Just really haven't really had any luck this weekend with, red flags and get taken out in quali. And
we are good to go racing then. That 5-second board is displayed to the drivers. The final race of the day for the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship about to get underway. Lights are red. The lights go out. They blast away from the line. Good start by Jelly. Hill gets run out wide. So does Cook, and Jake Hill loses more places. Forced wide into Old Hall Corner.
Just forced Josh Cook wide. He nearly went off. There's lots of locking up. Jake Hill's gone straight on. Oh, a potential race winner. Cold tyres. He manages to get the car turned back on, but cold tyres into that. Oh, now we've got a big call. That's Dan Lloyd. That's Dan Lloyd been turned.
And that's Colin Turkington that's arrived on the scene as well. This is going to be an interruption for sure. It could well be a red flag. Others have gone off in avoidance.
That's going to be a red. Yeah, that was a massive one. It's probably going to be red flag because there's cars everywhere, but continue. What are the temps like?
Ton of grass in the front.
Yeah, we're going to have to pit, mate. We're going to have to pit. I thought they'd get back to us, pit this time, we'll clear it out and go again. Stop at 45, but not all the way into the garage, so we don't have to push it back.
Joint championship leader Ingram in the pits and a brake fire as well. So this is bad news for Ingram.
And Thompson has beaten him out of the pit lane. They just had to remove that banner, but they're going to be at the back of the field because everyone else has gone through.
Safety car in this lap.
Safety cars coming in at the end of this lap.
Back out around the circuit, we'll go racing once more. We're back racing, 18 laps now is the journey. That's 5 in the book as they go down towards Old Hall Corner.
Okay then, mate, I'll leave it with you, but obviously there's a point for fastest lap or a point for 15th. So you've got to do 11 places to get to 15th.
This is Jake Hill, who's gained already 5 places, and another one beckons as he gets past Rick Parfitt. So he's into 18th place now, coming down towards his lots. And Jake Hill gets right into the back of him, saying, come on, hurry up!
The two championship guys, Sutton and Ingram, have just been following each other through because there's a few more places for them both here. He might be able to slot back in between them, yeah, between Jackson and Hill. No, Hill's got all the way around the outside. They're now all on the grass. Sutton's up behind him.
To the inside against Dexter Patterson. He's on the inside line. Jake Hill has done it. The checkered flag is at the ready. Out of Dearly, the checkered flag is ready. Stephen Jelly wins at Alton Park ahead of Aidan Moffat.
The rest of the field stream through. There goes Sutton and Ingram coming through in 16th and 17th and out of the points without a fastest lap either. They don't get any points at all from this third race.
Yeah, hard luck, mate. Hard luck. We didn't want the points league going into Crofts anyway. No, I think that's a win in itself, mate. We could have T-boned him and whacked you both out then. Parc Fermé is just before the pit lane on the right-hand side. That was a tough one. We took to the grass again to avoid a car in front of us, so it's either T-bone someone and wipe us both out or take to the grass and try and avoid him, so that's what we did. Filled the radiator with the grass again and then had to pit to get rid of it. Then we were held out with a safety car. If it's red flag, we could have cleared the grass and restarted as we were in the original grid positions.
Alton Park for me historically had been a bit of a rubbish circuit. I'd never really had the rub there. I'd always had either a bit of bad luck or caught up in incidents or caught up in a bit of drama. And it was just a fantastic weekend. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for any more. We started so well we rolled the car out for the shakedown on Friday afternoon, and Jesus, the car felt phenomenal. Honestly, I've never felt it before where I've got into a car and within 2 laps, it was like, whoa, this is spectacular. Like, I can't ask for anything more from this. So to get that out of the way and be like that was mega. Pole, 2 wins, that felt such a weight that had been lifted off of me. That then just sort of enabled us to concentrate on the back end of the year, really, that we could then focus on getting this drama out the way of the Alton Park weekend and eyes down, focus on the rest of the year.
We are at Goodwood Festival of Speed 2022. We are here with Kwik Fit as part of the British Touring Car Championship, overlooking the fantastic 50 years of M anniversary sculpture. Really looking forward to the hill climb. Been up once before, but briefly. It was more of a demo than a run up the hill. Didn't try to go up too quickly, but this is a bit different. First time I've been able to sort of try and actually see what it's like at speed. Very busy weekend, probably the busiest I've had in my time in racing. You know, to go from Goodwood 2 days, Thursday, Friday, helicopter to Croft to take part in the British Touring Car round 5 of the championship. So yeah, it's certainly a lot going on and a lot of logistical challenges. Thankfully, Kwik Fit and BTCC have been great in providing us with some fast transportation to get us north.
Car down?
12 minutes.
Just have a look at Dan's face, his eyes in particular. Hammering down to Clairvaux corner then. In a moment he will brake, and as he does so the car pitches left, he fights it, but it's going off the road. Now, just watch Dan's eyes. Hands off the wheel, incident comes to an end, and then that's a real, what the expression.
So instantaneous lock it, stop stand, straight away.
Both axles.
I think the rear's first.
Right.
Felt like it just went whoa, or the rear's just snatched, locked completely. And just disappointed because I didn't need that. You know, I needed a sensible run. Car felt quite nice. You know, warming up laps, I was like, this feels more like a racing car again. And as a racing driver, it's weird. You kind of you never really know if you've made a mistake, but you kind of have an idea when you have and when you haven't. And it all happened so fast. You know, I've hit the barrier quite square. They are the proper sort of Tech Pro barriers that are there to design the impact. I wasn't going slow when I hit it, but I also wasn't flat out when I hit it. You know, a lot of the speed had come off. So yeah, there's some bumper damage, and the bonnet looks a bit banged up. But behind that, I don't think it's end of the world. The guys will throw a few new parts at it, and it'll be fine. It's more understanding what's just happened, and B, are we confident it ain't going to happen again? Because when you're not sure what it is, obviously we need to go away and understand very quickly. Not what I needed, because I really needed a decent session to get my weekend on track, but unfortunately it's not to be. So all I can do is put my faith in the guys to repair it and do my best job I possibly can in qualifying, which I know, I can still perform to my best and get a good lap out of it. So.
One of those sessions where survival is pretty important, couldn't it? And another lock-up, and it's Jake Hill down towards Clairvaux. He gets away with it. Somebody's also, it was one of the Infinitys has made a mistake ahead of him, look, and been off the road.
We're still P1, mate. This is what happens at Croft.
Yeah, very big lock-up first call.
Who did Jake do?
Tom Ingram goes quickest. It was Dan Lloyd, but it's now Tom Ingram by a tenth of a second, a 1:21.544.
1.5 tenths down, sector 1. You are currently P1 though.
There's nothing like Tom Ingram when he's under pressure. He has to grab it by the scruff of the neck. That's a blinding lap on his first flying lap.
Jake Hill goes third.
Yes. Lloyd's gone quickest on his following lap at 21.5.
Lloydie's just gone quickest by 100th.
Dan Camish pressing on as well now for Napa Racing UK.
2 personal bests for Camish in the first and the second sector. So this is by far and away his best lap.
I've had times in my career where everything I've touched has turned to gold, and right now I've gone through a patch where everything has kind of just not worked out for me the way I wanted.
And he doesn't. That was all lost in that last sector. He's not having any luck, is Dan Camish, this year.
He is not, is he? The pace is there, but the luck isn't. Red flag with 45 seconds to go. There's a red flag. Somebody else has had a moment somewhere.
Red flag.
Red flag, mate, red flag.
It's the end of session.
End of session. We're not going to add 5 minutes onto this one. End of session.
Red flag, mate.
So Colin Turkington it is. Career pole position 26, and he's done it by 27 thousandths of a second.
Still not bad, mate. We can work with that. It's not like Alton. Look at it that way.
It's just annoying that we are quick enough to do it. Fair play to Colin.
Yeah, he did bang it in. And Lloydie, 2 people with injuries. And
In terms of how I think the championship's gone so far and what I think, I am happy, but I'm disappointed with myself. I think I've made too many mistakes and therefore let a lot of points slip, especially at Donington, Brands, etc. But you know, it's a new environment for me, and there's unfortunately some mistakes maybe need to be made to become a better driver overall. And I feel like I'm getting to the end of making my mistakes. Hopefully we can turn that all around and have a better ending to the year.
Yeah, he's feeling frustrated because he knows it's in him and in the car, but it's difficult to string it together. I think we need to work on the chassis a little bit because the time's in it, but it's just difficult to string it together. So we'll have a look at the data, have a chat, have a debrief, and then come back again tomorrow.
Yeah, the car's working well, the car's doing what we want it to do at the moment. I think the key thing is to try and stay level-headed and not start to get carried away looking at results and things like that. You know, although we're at the end of this weekend, we'll be at the halfway point. Actually, it's an important round of the season to sort of lay your marker, is to sort of say we're here for the season, if you like, and not just looking for race wins. So if we can stay consistent, that's a really important thing. So yes, the results have been great. Yes, we've been quick. Yes, the car's feeling good. But the deep down stuff is we still need to be consistent, and we still need to be a bit boring in that sense. So it's good, we're in good place, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet.
This is for third, Dan Rowbottom versus Tom Ingram. This is Dan Camish, who is currently 14th. That's Bobby Thompson ahead.
You start 13th, 14th, and I finished 13th, 14th. You can't go forward, it's just a queue, it's just a train. I'd love to drive through people, but unfortunately, there's not what you can do.
Ingram is under attack from Hill, and again, Rowbottom tries that outside line, except this time he can't get back into the pack. He's trying to stay on the outside of the BMW, but he couldn't do it. But at least he does fend off the attack of Ingram. And now that Hill's getting all toey against Ingram, that is meaning that Tom Ingram drops away slightly from the leading trio.
Hill looks to have really good pace, doesn't he? Ingram still has the fastest lap. That hasn't been beaten, but part of that is because they're attacking and defending against each other.
Last corner, the drive off the hairpin, it's good for Dan Lloyd. Checkered flag at the ready, it's a second touring car career win, and second at Croft as well. Takes the checkered flag. Race 1 of the day at Croft. Colin Turkington is second, Dan Rowbottom third ahead of Ingram, Hill and Sutton.
Yeah, well done mate, brilliant. So that's P4 with the fastest lap, so good job. Yeah, I mean, yeah, race 1 was a good result. P4, we're happy with that. It was kind of a boring race, but that's what he asked for at the start. So.
Yeah, race 1, I was always planning on it being a boring hold station. Don't do anything too chaotic. We just needed to finish and stay out of trouble. And then race 2, I thought, right, we need to take a bit of a risk here because we knew that around here, once the race gets going, it's very difficult to kind of overtake and it gets into a bit of a rhythm. So really the good opportunities are in those sort of lap 1, lap 2. So had to capitalise on that.
Side by side they come, Ingram round the outside, he's going to do to Turkington what Lloyd did in the first race and he goes through. Fantastic move. Home circuit, of course, Yorkshireman Camish was really looking forward to racing here, but the weekend was just not delivered for him.
Yeah, well, you know, one thing snowballs after another. His problem in practice with the off meant he didn't have his setup for qualifying. We heard him explain it on the grid, and it's hard to get your momentum back.
Oh, what a weekend. I'm glad to see the back of this half of the season. I've had everything thrown at me, and I've certainly at times started to doubt myself and what I can do in a touring car.
Oh, they're side by side. Oh, Camish had to
escape road, yeah.
He had to abort. He could not go through there side by side.
Now look at this, absolutely free for the lead now. Ingram under huge attack from Turkington. Dan Lloyd leading the way. Is Dan Rowbottom with Jake Hill catching up as well? Seemingly yes, taking Ash Sutton with them. So the leading sextet now pretty much has won. Robo there tries to defend from Jake Hill through Tower. The BMW tucks into the inside line, but the Honda gets a good drive out of the corner. Now. Rowbottom on the inside line, Hill on the outside, but he does it, goes right round the outside of the Honda. Yes! Good save by Jake Hill, that absolute commitment, and it's just given him 4th place. It is a second win of the day for Dan Lloyd, who crosses the line to win at Croft. Tom Ingram 2nd, and this is going to give Tom Ingram the championship lead. He was only 2 points back from Josh Cook.
Have fun. Love you. Be safe. Love you.
It's Croft, it's Gordon Shedden on pole position, and it is go. Right, Dan Camish's view. Tom Ingram is ahead of him. Dan Cam 9th and still desperately trying to find places.
Interesting though, isn't it? You know, Camish, for all that he says about, you know, the car, he's hanging on to Tom Ingram here very well.
Right with Ingram. The dominant car of the weekend, and you're right with him.
Yeah. So Ingram goes through up into 7th place, and now Camish tries to make his move as well. So Dan Camish all over the back of Dan Rowbottom, who's got to get his elbows out here and defend, but Ingram has finally gone through, and look, straight away he's up the road.
He's a rally driver, not a race driver. It's laughable. It's not finesse. There is no finesse to him. It's like watching a Rock 8 grabber go. But it's fast as
Yeah, will Camish try it up the inside dive? He looks like he is going to, and yes he does. Difficult move to pull off, but he gets the car stopped right in front of the Napa Racing hospitality box. They'll have enjoyed that.
And Gordon Shedden takes the race win in race 3 at Croft. Gordon Shedden victorious. Josh Cook 2nd. He will be delighted, if not relieved as well, with that. Rory Butcher takes 3rd. 4th goes the way of Stephen Jelly. 5th for Jake Hill.
Yeah, good. Job.
Right, well done. How was that? For myself, it's been a good day. You know, we've been in the top 5 all day, which is great. You know, there's not many days you have like that. Obviously, I'd love to have been on the podium today. It's my first time visiting Croft since 2019, where I've not been on the podium, so a bit sad about that. However, I'm sure it will come good at the coming rounds, and hopefully we can make a bit of an impact. I love Knock Hill, you know, Knock Hill's a great circuit. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I'm intrigued to see what the BMW is going to be like around there, because I've had 2 really good cars the last 2 years at Knock Hill. So, and the BMW is obviously supposed to be pretty good as well. So,
this championship is so hard now, like incredibly hard. The qualifying bit is so important. You know, and that used to be the bit I was good at. That's the bit I thought I based my weekend around. Yeah, I wasn't always the best guy coming from the back to the front, but if I started at the front, I could certainly stay at the front and I could win races. And that fire at Donington put me on the back foot from the start. You know, the crash FP2 yesterday was just bizarre, and a mechanical failure that no one's seen in years put me in the barrier, and It's just little things like that that upset your weekend, and the fact is we've got to improve, and we've got to come back to the second half of the season with some luck and a bit more speed, and then it's all to play for.
Today we're here at Goodwood Motor Circuit in preparation for the Goodwood Revival coming up soon. Just here, just getting the miles in. The time at Goodwood in terms of track time is very valuable, so any time that we can have a run here and a bit of a test is very worthwhile. Massively into my historic racing. It's got a lot of soul, we've got a lot of love around it. I think it's almost like a side hustle, a side career to obviously the British Touring Car programme. So Rick Wood is predominantly a car builder and engine builder. He's renowned for his Ford Capris, but also the reason I've got to know Rick, he invited me to drive his Skyline one day, and my love for Nissan Skylines sort of echoed through with Rick, and our relationship grew from there. And we're just here to make him a little bit quicker in his Capri so that we're ready for when we race here at the Revival. In actual fact, I think how Historic supports my proper career with touring cars is actually car control has a big part to play in it. You know, I mean, my engineers and especially my teammates on a couple of occasions this year have said, I just don't know how you're hanging on to the British touring car, you know, it's all over the place. And the answer is it's because I've learnt to drive these things. You know, they're on to be quite honest, a rubbish tyre, a period tyre that they raced on, and the thing has no grip. So you learn to deal with a car that moves around, slides, and is, imperfect in pretty much every way. And so when you get back into a British touring car, which is trying to be perfect, and sometimes, and a lot of the time they can't be, whether it's due to contact or weather conditions, it's hard work. And so for me, that's easy, because if you can drive one of these things, you can drive a British touring car to victory when it's not working correctly.
When we come into Knockhill for 30 years in the British Touring Car Championship, this is where the crucial points scoring begins. It is a good getaway for Jake Hill.
Sutton again, now attacking on the outside as they come down to the hairpin.
Jake squeezing a little bit, so is Ash Sutton. They did touch briefly there. Can Ash Sutton break later than the BMW? They go into Duffers Dip, up onto two wheels, and he is in the lead.
Got Jake. Come on, Jake!
Lock up, big lock up. Hill locked up his brakes and went into the back of Ash Sutton, but they all escaped. Now he's on the outside. He's going to run. He's closing the door. Is Sutton going to let him in? They're going to be side by side. There's a little touch. Sutton retains the position.
But the move has gone as Hill is sideways again. So that's made a right old mess of the BMW. The grille is very dishevelled now after that headbutt in a sense. Jake Hill will have plenty more ideas up his sleeve. Will draw level on the outside instead.
Now he's through. He's got cleanly in front this time.
Yes! Come on!
Sutton's looking for that opportunity again. Jake Hill closes it off. Now he needs a really good hard lap. And Jake, very judicious use of the curbs there, floating the cars across Duffers.
Yeah, sublime car control on tyres that are getting a little bit beaten up right now. But it is a win again for Jake Hill here at Knockhill to kick things off this weekend.
Get in! Get in!
Eventful race one, definitely, but I got a really good start from pole position. Immediately Ash with that front wheel drive car and how good they can brake initially, straight on top of me, and to be fair to him, he pulled a really good move into turn one around the outside, but then the car came alive for me and we just got after him. It was really just a case of, right, just spend a lap behind him, think about what you're doing again and have another go. And that's exactly what we did. Obviously, from a points point of view, fantastic.
Onto the top step of the podium. Mickey congratulates and holds the trophy high. Jake Hill.
That's the Ginetta Juniors for their last session of the day, please. I'm fairly useless at most things in life. Driving a car, I think, is the only thing I'm actually half decent at. But I can do accents. And the good thing is I can sort of merge in, you know, so if we talk in Australia, then we can go over to somewhere like Wales. And once you're talking in Welsh, it's absolutely banging. I wouldn't say it's a talent, it's just a weirdness. It's been a tough season, I think, actually, so far to this point. Because of not having to carry the ballast, the hybrid has kind of closed things up a lot more, because it's meant that the cars are feeling consistent over the course of the race weekend, so everyone's tweaking and finding those half a tenth, then a tenth, then another half a tenth. Qualifying will be key. This place is historically very difficult to get past and to overtake.
It's short lap, you know, it's a bit like a Brands Indy, you know, 50 seconds, something like that. So it's a very much a rhythm circuit, because you're hitting the curves in, you know, so aggressively all the time. All you need is to land better than the rest once and you're off.
Go on then, sausage. Let's go do this.
Last car position now.
Good even start, very much like the first one. Not much difference between front and rear wheel drive off the front of the grid. One of the motor-based Fords, I think, going
Jackson,
off there.
Ollie Jackson, maybe.
Safety car, taking safety car, race to the board.
Tom Ingram has got away from the grid. Well, in fact, he's gained a place. He dives up the inside as we go. Safety car of Stephen Jelly as well.
What this does do, though, is it gives the BMWs a little bit more time to get more temperature in their tyres. Jake Hill particularly, so he'll be pleased to have this safety car, because it means Ash Sutton can't attack him so hard when the tyres are cold.
Safety car is in at the end of the lap.
He's gone now. He's going to use all the traction of that BMW to come off the corner well. Look at Ingram on the attack with Turkington round the outside. Now he's going to try and cut back, but the BMW will have greater traction off the corner. Ingram being really aggressive this race.
For the race lead, here comes Ash Sutton from a long way back.
Well, it must have been a mistake from Jake Hill at the chicane.
He went off into the gravel, Jake Hill, a very unusual mistake there.
Yeah, and he knew he was going off very early. You saw he just backed right off the throttle to save the car.
Let's just see what we can do, mate. Nothing we can do now, so let's try and live with it.
Yeah, back in the day, it's not actually the gear cut, it's the engine. With nothing we can do anyway.
No, exactly.
Just roll with it.
He's got some work to do now, but he did it in race one, finding a way past.
I haven't all of a sudden forgotten how to go through the chicane. I don't know if something's broken or something else has happened, but something felt totally different.
So Camish wanting to place his car cleverly. He's having to attack and defend at the same time, which is never a nice place to be in. And Rory Butcher will not need any more than half an invitation on Dan Camish. Side by side, these cars fairly level pegging out of the hairpin, and it will be Butcher who will get the place on Camish. That was well thought out, in fact, planned a few corners back, and the Toyota is through.
I don't want to jinx him, but of course Ash Sutton's is the only one of the top four in the championship who hasn't won a race yet. So close, isn't it, at the front? Final lap, though. Jake Hill never gives up. Look at the two of them sideways through Duffers.
Has Jake Hill timed this attack to perfection? Is he going to slot up the inside? No. Ashley Sutton saw that attack coming. The drive off the final corner for the BMW is going to be interesting, because he's virtually in the pit lane. Across the line, Sutton gets it, but only by 1.5 tenths.
Oh, mega. Tommy. God,
Jake Hilby ruined that mistake he made earlier in the race to let Sutton through, because he couldn't get back past.
I got a good run out of the last corner there for the win, obviously to the line, and he's putting me on the grass and putting me into the pit lane, so I've had to lift out the throttle. So yeah, I mean, he's feisty, that's for sure. So yeah, it's a tricky situation, but you know, we just got to live with it and move on.
Tom Ingram, good for championship points, finishing in 4th position.
Yeah,
yeah, it looked a lot better visually. You maintain with Shed and Butcher. Yeah, we're able to get around Gamble at turn 2 anyway. So
first 5 minutes, rapid.
Yeah.
Literally like pushing people around.
Yeah.
Pulling from Butcher, looked really strong. Got everything I needed in the middle. And I'm sat there thinking, we're on now. Mega. And there's literally, I can literally sit there in the seat and say it. This is it. This is the moment.
And is it like that?
Like that. You can pick the lap.
Yeah.
You can feel it happening under you. It's just like, that's it, it's gone. Can't get it stopped, can't get it turned, can't come off the corner. And Butcher's like, whoop, bye, go on. Everyone just went. And I'm left. I've got to do it. I can't drive any faster than that. I'm doing my best just to drive it at that speed. It makes me look amateur.
Forget about the way you look, the way. Yeah, but you need to get over that and go, right, park that. How do we make the car better? It's not how we make you better, it's how we make the car better. So
at this point in my career, I'm not sure I'm going to get any better. I'm kind of where I am, whereas I am.
And one thing about me that I wish I could change, but also I know that you can't really change who you are in deep down. I care what people think. I wish I didn't. When I joined British Touring Cars, even though I'd been warned about it, probably one thing I didn't realise was how much of a bigger step it was from a support category to the main championship. How many more people were watching, how many more people had an opinion. I do find that quite difficult sometimes, because you are sort of part of this, big show, and everyone's got an opinion on it, some good, some bad, and overcoming that, I think, is quite difficult.
The first time he started from pole position, that is a good getaway. It really hooks up nicely. Carnage at the start, typical race 3 fare, really. Already there's contact.
Ingram.
Oh, and up on 2 wheels there, I think briefly was Dan Camish as well. That's majorly broken suspension.
That rear wheel.
Hit the radio. And never made it round turn 3. Just got collected by a recovering Gordon Shedden, whether or not he was off track, on track, going slow. I just came around the corner and went, and just there was no way I could avoid him. Just went wheel to wheel, and it put me in the air. Nearly rolled the thing over, I think, to be honest. And it destroyed the suspension. We had a fantastic view of the track. Great place to watch actually there over the chicane, but not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be going over the chicane. It's been a tough one. I think I say that every week, and I wish I didn't have to, but yeah, it's just a struggle at the moment.
I did say to him at one point, I said, crikey, did you break a mirror this year? And he went, yeah, I think I did actually. It's like, yeah.
Jake Hill gets wide, puts a wheel on the dirt, and through goes Sutton. Doesn't need a second invitation. That was the part of the track that Hill was struggling with throughout race 2.
He's very leery indeed on the exit of the hairpin as well in the Rocket MB car. But Ash Sutton's gone behind him again. And the move is repaid by Jake Hill. He goes back up to 4th position. That was much, much better, wasn't it? The rear did not step out this time around, so developing his driving style on the fly, effectively.
Championship leader Tom Ingram, after that moment at McIntyre's, is out of the points at the moment.
P20.
This is real advantage for Turkington, Sutton, Hill, those that are challenging him at the front of the points.
Jake Hill's just done the fastest lap of the race, so that shows that his car's clearly back on point.
Yeah, look how far he's pulled away from Sutton. He's pulled a huge distance on Sutton.
Rory Butcher well aware of the presence of Colin Turkington in this rapid BMW. Jake Hill as well is ready to take any spoils that might come his way there. So these two have squabbled all season long, in fact, and Jake Hill sometime having the measure on the vastly more experienced BMW driver. Through Duffers Dip they go again. Turkington's running a little short though of hybrid laps now.
Jake Hill's in his own championship fight now. He's dragged himself back into contention, so every point is really important to him.
We just need these two to get very involved.
Yes, it has all the ingredients.
Can he get round the outside of the hairpin? Look, Turkington backed out of it. Turkington completely braked early. He thought, I am not having any part of this.
He gave it to him.
And then they've swapped Jake and Colin, so Jake can have a go at Butcher.
Well, the headlights come on for Jake Hill, meaning he really does mean business now. He's been given the open road to Rory Butcher up ahead. Colin Turkington slipping to fourth, but that might all be part of the programme at West Surrey Racing.
Rory Butcher has got a massive fight on his hands.
And he's got very, very good momentum coming out of the hairpin.
Oh, big oversteer moment there. Gets on the power, tries to cut back, then goes to the outside. They're side by side. Hill has more momentum. He's going to take the place.
Yes, good boy! There is George Gamble. He was really nervous at the start of the race. They were jangling, but he has measured the pace throughout. George Gamble across the line, 4.3 seconds ahead of Jake Hill. Rory Butcher does hang on to third position ahead of Colin Turkington.
Oh yeah! Cracking job, mate. Fantastic job. What a weekend. I was about to come on the radio, but something was going on down here. And then he went through the chicane again, and he was like, "Don't worry, boys, I got my mojo back." So I came on the radio, so I can see that you've just gone purple lap. So
58 points we scored. That's the most anyone scored all year.
And is it really?
Yep.
I mean, I owe a lot of thank yous this weekend because the car was back on form for that last race, and you know, we got to about 7 laps to go, and Colin and his engineer John very kindly let me go and try and get past Rory, and obviously we succeeded. I managed to get past Rory and go home to take second. It's such a good points haul. That's the main thing. We now come away from here, you know, 14 points off the lead from 41. You know, so that's a massive, massive jump. Nearly 30 points we've gained, and the highest scorer all year with 58 points, which is, you know, pretty awesome. So I'm thrilled.
It was a fantastic weekend. You can often tell with a driver when they turn up, when you first see them at the track, what frame of mind they're in. And everything about Jake that weekend was super focused and positive. I think when you know you're in the right team, when you enjoy working with everyone and you have the respect for everyone and you're competitive, you know that's when you've fallen on your feet and you're in a good team and with that respect. For me, it's that privilege of competing in a professional sport that I get the buzz from. I'm actually serving notice in my existing job to go full-time race engineering, but it's what you love, and I think the key is if it doesn't feel like work, I think you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, touring cars does take up a lot of your time. Time is everything, isn't it, for everyone? It doesn't matter what industry you're in, but I think it's just because I love historic racing so much. I love the cars more than anything. You know, I want to do it, so I make the time, I make it happen. It's such a big part of who I am as a person, not just my racing career. So it's almost just important in some ways. You know, it just brings me a lot of joy, and you know, you make the time for stuff you love. You do, you just make the time, you make it happen, and you come away feeling very happy that you have.
Snetterton is actually one of the hardest circuits that we come to.
It's a proper driver's track. It's one of the longest tracks that we race at, nearly 2 minutes a lap. Quite a difference to somewhere like Knockhill where we just come from.
Because there's a bit of mix of all sorts, so it's quite a test for the car. Hence why we also do quite a lot of pre-season testing here.
Because you've actually got different corners that you can actually try and setups on, you know, fast, slow, medium speed, it's all here.
So it's quite good for a bit of mix of all sorts, but it is a tricky circuit. It's a circuit I actually really like. I've gone well here in the past.
I'm excited, you know, I think the car is going to be in a great window, and I have no doubt that we're going to be right at the front again for this weekend.
I'm positive. I think we've got to get up and get going. You know, I've got every hope that I can deliver a qualifying lap that puts me on the front couple of rows, and I truly hope and got to stay positive that I'm going to have the car that's going to keep me there throughout.
So I don't think anyone really knows how we're going to perform until we get down to the nitty-gritty and until we get into qualifying as to who's maximised and who's made the best at the best of the conditions.
Just have a similar weekend to what I had at Knockhill.
You look back at what we've been doing and how things have been tough and haven't changed in a long time.
And you could easily come here and go, this is going to be another tough weekend. But I refuse to believe that it has to be that way. I've got a team who's very much behind me, wants the success, I want the success. We're going to be all right.
There's plenty of the season still to go, and ultimately, there's a handful of points between us. When I'm 4 or 5 back, Ash is 1 point or 2 points behind me, so it's all very, very close. But in that regard, I'm not too fussed about the position, more the points.
Knockhill was amazing. You know, it was. I scored 59 points out of a possible 65. So yeah, from a points point of view, I don't think it gets much better than that.
So yeah, Knockhill was actually my last race on Jake's car. As you can see, I'm wearing a blue BMW t-shirt now, so I've actually came back for the weekend to help on Stephen's car. My job will be taken by Dom, who was previously number 2 on Stephen's car. I've worked with Dom for a number of years. I first worked with Dom when he was doing work experience at Carlin, when I was doing Euro F3. I have every faith that Dom will be the right man to take over from me. I wish Jake all the best in the rest of the season. And I've no doubt he'll definitely be there until the last race at Brands Hatch, and hopefully, yeah, he'll be able to bring it home, and I'll be able to maybe celebrate with him. So.
We're staying here for as long as we dare. The shade, that's what everyone else is doing.
Don't be giving any of that.
Good luck. Right, let's go. Go quick.
So nervous. What I'm nervous about, first event as a number 1, that sort of thing. But no, I'm more just want to keep it on pole, carry on from Knockhill. Got a point to prove, innit, Grumps?
Absolutely.
Dan Rowbottom has lost a lap time for track limits. We'll start the list in a moment. As up towards the line comes Ingram, goes through now, and as he goes over the line, that puts him quickest, a 1:56.1, 55 thousandths quicker. Tom Ingram goes on to pole. Jake Hill, on his first flying lap, has just gone quickest. Jake Hill, 1:55.870. There he is. So Jake Hill has gone fastest by 10 from Colin Turkington. So the WSR BMWs are 1, 2, and 3.
We're currently P4, so it's Hill, Turkington, Jelly, and you. So it's 3 tenths now.
He just keeps going, doesn't he?
Yeah. You've got no fear.
Here comes Camish to back up to the line. Will he set a lap time that will improve this time? It hasn't been particularly good in the sectors. Neither of them were faster than his previous one, and he doesn't improve.
Ting is currently 4th, so the best of the front-wheel drive drivers, and this is on board as he heads into Coram. Over the timing line, stays 4th. Yeah, doesn't improve.
Let's box this lap, mate. We're not going to do it. Box this lap.
I'm surprised that people have got going quicker in the second half. This Tam's just going to be so hot.
But Jake Hill, with the road to himself, quicker than anybody in the first sector. Remember, he has got 4.5 seconds of hybrid usage per lap, and he's not yet used any of it. Now, don't forget, Jake Hill and Colin Turkington, 2 pole positions each this year, so this is the kind of shootout between the two. Camish has gone 8th. Coming into Coram, he has got the Cupra there of Will Powell to get past, which he negotiates. Runs wide, gets sideways, catches it, but that won't have helped the lap at all.
No, that would have messed up this lap and the start of the next lap. That's really unfortunate for Jake. Remember the last time we saw him, he had traffic in exactly the same place. 55.8, Colin Turkington again on pole.
What are the symptoms then?
The trouble is, I had a high oil temperature all the way through. I can't cancel the alarm. So I've got flashing lights on the dash for high oil temperature, 137. But I can't cancel the alarm, so it's on all the time. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
P8. He's a little bit disappointed, got held up on one of his fast laps by Jelly going slow on mine. So
it is what it is. You know, ultimately my championship challenge ended a while ago. You know, I think it ended months ago, not even quite recently at the end of the day, and I came to terms with that a long time ago. Obviously the team know I need some help, and they're doing everything they can. And when the breakthrough comes, I know it's going to come. We can have some success towards the end of this championship and get some good results. And I think that's important for next year to start strong, because I want to go for this championship next year. I've got no full belief that I can, and there's no reason I can't.
I mean, I've been in this championship now. 2014 was my first year, so I've come perilously close on a couple of occasions to winning it. I mean, I've been racing since I was about 5 years old, and actually the BTCC was what got me kind of interested in motorsport in the first place. So I've devoted my life to it. For Laura and I, this is our life. This is what we do. We go touring car racing. You know, I've loved this championship, and I continue to love the championship. The only piece that's missing so far is to win it.
Good first one, mate.
Yeah, can't complain too much. Yeah.
Well done. It's all right, my job's definitely gone now.
Yeah, you ain't got this anymore either. Sacked.
Yeah, we just finished qualifying. A bit gutted because we was on a really good lap. I just made a bit of a mistake into the last corner, Coram and Murray's, and ultimately that cost me the pole really. So a bit annoying, but really just looking forward to tomorrow now. You know, very exciting day ahead. It's going to be another hot one, but I'm sure we're going to have a very good day, being that we start off the front row. So looking forward to it.
Must be running 5 minutes late.
Mate, it's out. You try and do it from the tap now, it'll still out loads.
And get a rag underneath?
We're thinking we might be going green in the next minute, just to be warned.
It just holds pressure in the water system for so long that you can't take the cap off to refill. So we're topped up now. We're pretty confident with it. Basically, with the engine being so hot throughout the race, it doesn't really lose the pressure in the water system. So we were struggling to check the water level because the pressure was so high before the start of the race. So just a bit of a panic. The races are really close together between race 1 and 2 here. So just trying to find a time where the temperature's low enough, the pressure's dropping, so we can actually take the water cap off to check the level.
Yeah, it's a good one, eh? See if we can get this one done.
We go racing, good getaway from Turkington, good stop by Adam Morgan.
Good launch, good launch.
The leaders scrabble out of the hairpin with Turkington up front and Ingram having a go at Hill.
Yeah, almost a mirror image of the first start, but this time Hill's got a better run up the inside.
Camish is down.
Where is Camish?
21st.
Boys, we might have Dan coming in.
Colin Turkington stands his ground on the outside, but it's the longer line, it's the slower line, and the next corner will go Jake Hill's way as well. But look, Turkington's going to drive off the corner.
But who's going to come out in front? I think it's going to be Turkington finally. Although Hill breaks very late, and round the outside comes Ingram. Can he slot in?
Around the outside here.
Yes, he can half, but Hill does a great job.
Ingram's staying with us a bit at the moment. But he'll be all right. He'll drop him in a minute.
There are the leaders then, heading up towards the timing line. Colin Turkington leads from Jake Hill. Ingram is now dropping back a little bit, but he's still clear of Morgan in fourth. Up towards the hairpin at Wilson, you're riding on board with Ash Sutton. There's the gap, there's the dive, there's the move. Job done.
In fact, on that last lap, Hill set his personal.
Stationary car on the track at Shedden, we're just trying to find out the corner number.
Exit of turn 10 to 11, car on driver's right.
And the safety car is called for because that needs removing. It can't sit there for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, safety car in at the end of this lap.
We go green again now, then as they break the beam, racing once more, 14.
Come on, Jay! Come on, Jay!
Can Jake Hill make a move there? The answer is no. In Ingram's case, it's the third versus Adam Morgan. Now, the race-leading BMW is a nose to tail. We're on board here with Tom Ingram, who is banking points again in third place. He's just not got the pace to stay with those BMs. Has he bear in mind that they were all bunched up behind the safety car? Look at how the two leading cars are pulled away.
Last lap then, mate. This is the last lap.
And in fairness to Tom Ingram, he has also done a good percentage game here. He's talking early on about a pointsy day. Well, another podium, another third place. Okay, he's not scoring as well as Turkington, but he's scoring. Colin Turkington turns through Coram, down towards the last left-hander on the lap. And again, avoids all the curve, avoids any drama. It's smooth, it's controlled, and it is a race win. The 63rd of his career. Colin Turkington victorious at Snetterton. Jake Hill takes second place, and third it is going to be Tom Ingram.
Great job, mate. Well done. That's a win, that is. My race was ended on lap 1 at turn 2. You know, I brake it. I give people a bit of margin for error in lap 1. Make sure you brake a bit early. You know, there's no point in causing damage there, and I just get roofed in the back, knocked in the side of Ash, damage, game over. Go back to somewhere near last, finish 18th, but that's my day done now.
Obviously we've just finished the second race there at Snetterton in this like 34, 35 degree heat, whatever it is, and yeah, it's killing us really. It's so hot in the car, you just don't have any air to breathe. But you know, we've had a great couple of races there with 2 second places, lots and lots of points scored, which is fantastic. And now we've just got to finish strong in race 3, which I'm looking forward to.
A copy and paste from the first race really. Held station, Adam came back at me a little earlier than he did in the first race, managed to hold him off. Again, good points, which is what we needed, but the good points in the sense that we scored good points against everyone else, but the 2 guys that we were going with in the championship obviously outscored us, which is a little frustrating. But you know, I think overall we did well in those 2 races against cars that have been faster than us this weekend.
So we can race from the start because we're not starting at the front, and it's too difficult not to when you're in the middle of the pack. So we can race from the start off the line this time around, mate.
Round 21 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship then is set to get underway. Light to go red, lights out quickly, good getaway by Sutton, good start also by Plato, and of course by Stephen Jelly in the BMW from the 3rd row. Sutton has a good advantage, but not for long because Rowbottom goes round the outside and takes the race lead, diving into Riches.
He's got away, oh, he's run wide now, he's run wide at the end of the corner. Sutton's got the overlap coming up to Hamilton's. Will he be able to stay in front? Yes, he can.
Do with a nice boring win.
Yeah.
Massive point.
This is on board with Tom Ingram, who's chasing very hard, going through behind Collard, a much quicker run through Riches. Has he timed it right to get up the inside? No.
Steady where you go, yeah?
Yes, as they come once more. And Adam Morgan on the back of Jake Hill. Colin Turkington next up. So number 500 BMW, there's contact there. Butcher gets into Jelly, knocks him sideways. Jelly spins. And now is everybody going to be able to avoid him as the dust settles? He's on the lip of the road, but that was a bit brutal.
Rowbottom's defending the inside, they're side by side. Collard's now got the inside for the right-hander. Through comes Ingram on Rowbottom. They're going to be very close as they get to the bomb hole. Is Ingram going to get through? He does. Well driven down Rowbottom to give him a little bit of room.
Now Jake Hill shaking off Butcher, now having a go at Rowbottom for 5th place. So the Honda is under attack again.
Yes, Collard is using hybrid this lap. You have 2 remaining.
Collard and Ingram, so that's preserving your 2nd place. Collard is sideways at Riches. Ingram now gets the run, but Collard moves to the inside to defend.
Hill has an overlap this time on Rowbottom. Is it enough to outbrake him? Yes, it is.
Rowbottom tries to fight back. Look, coming out of Agostini up the inside there. He's on the outside for the next corner. He's got to get the switch back if he can, and he can't quite do it. Hill's back ahead of him. Last race of the day, nothing to lose in terms of damage. He's back up the inside.
More damage to Rowbottom's car, the tyre rubbing on the bodywork there. Has Turkington's got enough of no lap? Is that a piece of tyres or a piece of bodywork gone from Rowbottom's car? But Turkington is through as well as Hill.
But Ash Sutton has looked absolutely mighty in this race. Ingram isn't giving up without a fight though. Look, he has a proper go on the outside line. Ricky Collard has learned a huge amount about racing touring cars this weekend, and he's not giving up yet, and he's going to have to stick his elbows out yet further because Ingram's alongside. They touch again, and Ingram does go through. Last lap, up to 3rd.
Brilliantly worked out. Oh no, it's not over yet. I told you he was going to fight him, and this is the risk that you run, because, you know, that could have cost Ingram big time, couldn't it?
A 26th career win for Ash Sutton. He takes the checkered flag, victorious at Snetterton in race 3. Ash Sutton wins. Jason Plato's second, his best result of the season and a very popular result. Ricky Collard takes third ahead of Tom Ingram. Jake Hill is going to be fifth. Colin Turkington 6th. Rory Butcher 7th.
I had to fight for that, didn't he?
Well done. Well done. Cracking job all weekend. Did what we needed to do.
How far off are we at, Tom?
24. Oh, off Tom. 7 tight.
7 behind.
It's really
tight.
turned into us 4 all of a sudden.
Yeah. Did you see from where you were the Collard and Ingram tussle?
Yeah.
'Cause Ingram got him and then he just doored him. It was like, I'm having you.
Get in there.
That was a great move.
Ingram's going to
appeal it.
Appeal that for piss and pass. No, it's inside.
I think it was all right. It was a solid touring car move, wasn't it? But then if it happened to us, we'd be appealing it. So you know.
Last lap of the race, just don't give him the gap.
It's worth having a look when he's on board just to see what.
Just want to have a look? Yeah.
So do you think you hadn't left the car's width on the inside?
I was definitely defending it. Whether there was a gap down the inside, well, there was obviously a gap down the inside.
Yeah,
because he managed to make it.
If he's on the grass, if he's off the track,
I don't know if
to
he was on the track or not. I defended it. And was hit on my right rear.
and then used you to slow down, if you like.
If I hadn't have been there, the question is, would you take that line on a normal racing lap? No. Had I not have been there, would you still have made the corner? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dan's been stuck down in the boonies after being taken out of race 2. So unfortunately he's collected a bit of damage early on lap 1 and the car's not been working right. But on flip side, on the other side, Ash just controlled that, lights the flag. Fantastic way to finish what's been quite a tough weekend, to be honest. So yeah, it was quite a fitting reward for the boys that worked so hard.
That's a clap and a wrap at Snetterton. End of Snetterton weekend. I was going to say Snetterton race 3, but it's end of the whole day. Everyone's packing up, as you can see. But yeah, great to see Ash get the win, because that obviously BMW's having a great weekend, but it keeps Ash close, which is what we need. I just need to be up there so I can support him, because you know I think he's going to need my help if he's going to get this over the line, and obviously we all want that. So all we can do is move forward, keep my chin up, and then we'll look ahead to the future, because this year has been too much of that. Maybe it's the change of the formula. Maybe the heat got to a few people today. I don't know. I mean, it's been stiflingly hot. Hopefully we get to Brixton and it'll be a bit cooler. Cheers. So we are at my local bike park, which is Swinley Forest. Very, very lucky to have this on my doorstep, just around the corner from me. I come here as often as I can and have a bit of a whiz round. I've always been quite an outdoorsy type, really. Mountain biking is kind of what I enjoy these days. It's always good to be outdoors. In touring cars, you are constantly looking forward while looking behind, while trying to drive as fast as you possibly can. Every lap is now a qualifying lap.
Now Dan Camish has done an absolute best in the middle sector. We saw Dan Camish going rapidly early on and he's gone quickest. Dan Camish goes fastest of all as he comes across the line. So Camish to Cook, 17 thousandths of a second between them. Two drivers, both of whom need points this weekend for differing reasons. Dan would dearly love that overdue win as well.
No one's worked harder, I know, than Dan.
And it's just mental stress overload all the time. It takes it out of you.
Checkered flag is out. The majority of the cars are already in the pit lane, so the session is over and it is pole position for Dan Camish. There's nobody out there going quickly enough to threaten him, so Camish for pole position. by 17 thousandths from Josh Cook. Jake Hill third. It's a very happy motor-based team. First pole of the season.
Keeping the pace. Well done.
Some always hard.
There you go. Come on. Good job. Well done.
This means the world to me, honestly. Like after these last few months of having some real down moments and you know, head scratching moments. Been through a lot this year. You know, it's got worse for it, it's got better. We've been through some really tough moments. I've really learned the new meaning of self-belief. Thankfully, I've got really good people around me who support me and keep my chin up, because there's times this year where this feeling that I've got now, it seemed a million miles away. It's nice to get this back, and I think it's only going to spur me on, not only for tomorrow, but for the next few rounds to come.
Yeah, I'll take P3 with that. That's my happiest ever P3, that one.
Good job, mate. Well
Cheers,
done.
mate, thank you.
Well done.
It was a tough session out there. And fair play to Camish and Cook. They were in another league today. They were just down the road, and a fantastic result for Camish for P1 there. So, but to be P3 with the other championship protagonists behind us, we couldn't ask for much more really. So we're very happy with that.
Yeah, we qualified down the pack, and it's really difficult this season if you've qualified down the pack to try and make progress back. You end up racing against people who have got maybe more hybrid than you. Or you just get caught in a bit of a train. So in that regard, it becomes quite difficult to make a good amount of progress.
Yeah, so partway through we got really high water temperature just out of nowhere. We lost a load of water out of the coolant system. So we had to pit, get the hot air out of the system, replace the hot air with water, get it down to temperature, and then go again. So by the time we'd done that, we didn't really have time to push for another lap at the end. So it's a bit of a mess really, so we've got to find out if we need to do an engine change overnight and just see where we go for tomorrow. It's all about race 3, I think, for us now, is move forward in race 1 and 2, try and get the reverse grid and win race 3. So it's like a weekend in reverse. It's damage limitation, I think, from here on. We'll see how we get on.
Not much we can do now, so see how we're feeling in about 25 minutes. Go again, mate.
Round 22 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship from Thruxton. Dan Camish on pole position for the first time.
If my car is doing well, I can't watch the race. You know, if it's in the top 3 position, I won't be watching TV, I'll be out the back of the garage.
The lights go, out we go racing. Slow start made by Jason Plato. Good start by Jake Hill up the inside of Josh Cook. The BMW goes second. Remember, he's got to really push early on in that car to get the tyres up to temperature, but Camish leads. Hill is up to second. Cook third, now Cook second up the inside of Sutton, elbows out, it's all kicked off behind the leader, and there Josh Cook is tagged sideways. This could be the save of the day. He's off on the grass, he's back towards the tarmac. Camish has got an absolutely massive lead. His engineer, James Mundy, he never had a pole position as a BTCC engineer, as off goes Chilton onto the grass. The car tips onto 2 wheels but keeps on sliding.
Oh, that was game over.
That car so nearly rolled over.
It did,
I was holding my breath as it lifted up.
Dan Camish led by 2.4 seconds at the end of lap 1. Yes, really.
Camish, he's been nowhere all season, and now all of a sudden he's absolutely miles up the road.
That gap second to third has widened, and Jake Hill, as ever, really spectacular to watch on the limit. Round 22 of the championship won by Dan Camish.
Yeah! There you go. Well done. That's brilliant.
It's taken a long time to get that victory, but it means a huge amount to him, to his engineers.
Can't say much better than that, can you? Nice start to the weekend.
The winner is Dan Camish. And now, the national anthem of the winning driver.
Sometimes when you're under pressure, it means that at least you're very focused and every lap's the same and you're constantly in a groove and you're pushing. When you have a lead like that, it's easy to let your mind wander when you should be concentrating on the job, and it's easy to let that gap slip. So I was happy to let them come a little bit, but I didn't want to let them come too far. The problem is, around here, it's such a high-speed track. It only takes a couple of confidence lifts and a break here and there where you weren't before, and suddenly that gap can shrink. And then you've got to get yourself back into the groove to open it up again, and it's not always easy. So I was conscious of keeping the gap as stable as I could, and that's what we managed to do to the flag.
To have them both up on the podium, double podium, it's so nice to celebrate with the team that way.
Well done, mate.
Thanks. It's not bad, we got it home.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Your fourth place.
Sutton's got me.
But equally, Sutton, I think, surely has to give you one for that. So
Yeah.
So you'll get any closer.
Rear all over the place. Need to tie it into the rest of the car.
What's it doing? Does it feel out of sync?
It's just falling over.
Does it feel like we need to go softer or stiffer?
Like, we're going softer, and obviously I'm just not sure. But you're rolling, you're turning in, and the thing's just immediately just like breaking away all the time, and it feels like it's rolling out of sync with the rest of the car.
Right.
Tomorrow I think we're going to throw a race set up at it, and we're going to race for the podium. And I'd love to say we're going to race for the win. Actually, I see no reason why we can't. I think we've got a very good race car, and I'm going to give it 14 of the best laps I can to reward these boys for all the hard work.
Pit lane opens in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's have a good one, boys.
Good start by Camish. Gordon Shedden tries to move across, but Sutton's already up the inside. Shedden on the outside for Campbell, the inside for Cobb, but it's not good enough because it's a Ford 1-2. Butcher versus Hill, side by side into Noble. BMW goes ahead on the outside. So this is Camish versus Sutton for the race lead. The Napa Racing UK teammates. Now, before they start thinking about anything really clever and switching places, maybe they need to build more of a gap over Shedden. He's only 0.7 of a second back.
It needs to be a position where we don't lose out to Shedden.
Understood. We need a slightly bigger gap to Shedden to be able to swap.
Ash Sutton off the road in the chicane. Jake Hill has caught Shedden, and a mistake being made by Sutton. He had to skip the other side of the tyres.
That wasn't good at all. It certainly opened up the gap at the front and put him under pressure from Shedden. And if there are thoughts of Dan Camish ceding that position to Ash Sutton, it's going to be fraught with danger because Shedden is only 0.7 of a second behind. And it would be a shame to deny Dan Camish a second win. He's driven beautifully this weekend. And whilst he is a team player and it's a team sport as well, he thoroughly deserves another win.
We've got 3 to go.
Yep.
I think the gap will be about right this lap. Your call.
Look at the gaps between first and second, second and third now. They've opened up hugely.
Sutton to Shedden is 2 seconds. If there's going to be a switch, it is imminent.
Okay, Dan, sorry to do this, mate. At some point, you back off and let Ash take the win, please.
Look, Camish pulls to the right. That's an absolute given that he's through. This is teamwork at its best by Napa Racing.
Is there any communication?
Ash Sutton wins at Thruxton. Dan Camish second, having given away the race lead to him. A 26th career win for Ash Sutton. And I think you're absolutely right. He certainly should acknowledge the enormous input into that win that Dan Camish made.
Well, I know no one likes that. There's a championship here.
I know.
Okay.
But we don't have to like it, and I definitely don't want on the limit anywhere near me.
I think we need to give Dan a massive thank you.
Oh,
There.
mate,
It was a bit begrudged, but
no, mega. He he won the race.
Yep.
Champion, you know what I mean? Mega.
Well up.
Thank you.
You're over a massive bit.
Yeah, I know. More than a bit.
Why should I be happy? You know, we had
be
that,
honest.
we won that, we earned that, and after the year we had, we should have won that.
We all got the same strive to win. That's why we're here. Anybody that says they're not here to win is lying.
Well done, mate. That was your win. Thank you.
Where does that bring it to?
Ash is obviously the only one out of the 4 that can win the title. So there's a bit of a support network for him there. The big rule is respect your teammate. They're your teammate. But there is naturally, drivers see their teammates as probably their closest rival because they have exactly the same opportunities.
Sometimes you've got to play the bigger picture, you know. It's thanks to these guys that I get to go racing, and at the end of the day I'm here to represent them, and they make the call, and it was the right one. You know, ultimately I'm just not where I want to be in the championship, and Ash is, and it's important that we support that. So he promises me one day he'll do the same for me, and I'm sure that I'll do my best to hold him to that.
Dan, if you need a teammate, he's your man. Dan Cam's your man. He played a proper team game there, and obviously finishing 1-2, gifting me the win, just ultimately helps us with the championship. It left us level with points.
Yes, we've got race 3 coming up. It's always the interesting one of the weekend. Everyone gets a little bit too excited. I start 10th and Ash starts 11th. Again, if I get an opportunity to let him through, it would only be sensible. There's no point doing what I've just done in race 2 and not helping him a little bit in race 3. It just makes no sense. So, you know, let's see what we can do. It'd be nice to come forward a few positions and get out of here and put it down to being just a fantastic weekend for all at Napa UK. So I hope we can finish it off in style.
Oh, look, Ingram is up to 4th already. Rory Butcher gets in on the act as well, but Jelly versus Turkington for the lead, and Cook best of the rest. That was Hill on the grass, the first of the 2.
Whoa! Come on, Jake. Oh, we've lost so many places.
Losers at the moment is definitely Hill, who dropped down to 14th. Ingram and Sutton both up several places. That puts Ingram and Sutton in 5th and 6th.
Jake Hill goes toe-to-toe with Ricky Collard, and they lean on each other. The Toyota on the inside line stands its ground. This is for 13th place. Ricky Collard is still ahead.
Cut back, come on, down the inside. Come on, Jake. Come on, Jake.
Jake Hill gets the run, gets the inside line, gets the place. That was brave stuff. Rowbottom attacks Ingram, they break late for the chicane. Rowbottom goes right round the outside, gets the job done, bounces over the curb, and Rowbottom has done it. He secures 6th place. That was a cracking move. And now look, Michael Priest comes out to have a go at Ingram.
At no point this weekend has that car had the pace that we expected out of Ingram. He's been the dominant front-wheel drive car up to this point. He hasn't been the best front-wheel drive car this weekend.
Every time I tried to go up a gear, the gear lever would throw but wouldn't engage a gear. So it was just an empty shift. There's just nothing connected on the other side. So you keep pulling the lever, pulling the lever, pulling the lever. Nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. And eventually, after sort of 3 or 4 pulls, it would engage a gear. I'm at the luck of the draw. You know, I'm pulling a gear, going, please engage. And then on the way down the gears, you would push it to go down a gear, and the gear lever would stay in one place. So you'd have to pull it back.
Is the lever as a procedure having to manually pull it back? Basically?
Correct.
Has it gone just for this race, or has it been all day? Yeah.
Literally just when we got out there.
Yeah, okay.
Yay.
Dan Camish gets onto the back of Gordon Shedden now. This little battle is for 9th place, but they've switched already. Shedden is ahead, Camish is fighting back, so that switch has happened. Going on to the last lap of the race, Josh Cook is heading for the checkered flag. Round 24 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is won by the King of Thruxton. Josh Cook takes a 10th Thruxton Touring Car win. Colin Turkington is 2nd, Stephen Jelly 3rd, Rory Butcher all the way from Ash Sutton on the last lap.
Let's just get across that line.
Tom Ingram 7th, Michael Priest.
There we go. Back to it. We were 24 behind coming in, and we're 23 behind now. After all of that. Cook.
Did he win?
No. Cook won. Cook, Turks, Jelly, Rory, Sutton, Robo. Robo did us a favour, got past Ingram. Ingram was 7th. It's all right. It's all right.
Only 18 points off, so we're close.
That it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And only 6 to Sutton, so not bad, mate. Considering, not bad.
We'll keep moving. It's been a testing weekend for us, and it's been a difficult weekend, but we've actually only left here losing 3 points. So maybe there's a glimmer of positivity to take away from that, in the sense that it could have been a lot worse. So I'm hopeful that this has been our bad weekend that we've got the best out of. You know, we've had problems this weekend that we've had to sort of work quite hard as a team to overcome, with, you know, with the issue on Saturday, the issue overnight Saturday coming into Sunday, and of course the issues on Sunday afternoon in that last race. So we've got through it. As I say, we've lost 3 points. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Getting down to win the championship, that's what the future holds, and we will. It's not going to happen this year, and Hopefully Ash comes through and he does it for us and we can win the team's championship and manufacturers. But next year, we're gunning for the championship and we'll do everything we can to make sure we win it.
So we are at Catesby Tunnel. It's formerly the longest underground railway tunnel in the country. Quite an unusual space, 2.7 kilometres in length, almost perfectly flat and perfectly straight. So we've come here today with the Focus touring car to do a little bit of sort of straight line testing, aerodynamic testing, and to see if this kind of environment can give us a bit of an edge on the competition. You know, today using Ash's car, it just so happens that Ash's was the one that was set up to have the equipment on. Obviously it's got a big weekend ahead at Silverstone, so I need to take care of it. There's a few places certainly around the country where you can test aerodynamics, you know, usually in a wind tunnel, very expensive to run. And also the car is stationary in those sort of environments, so you blow the air at the car. One thing that doesn't do is it doesn't allow the wheels to turn, and therefore you don't get a true picture of what's actually happening to the airflow. Been pretty cool actually. You know, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's a really impressive facility. Yeah, it's been a really good day. I think we've learned a lot of correlative data that we wanted to get on the aero side. There's no better place to put that into practice than Silverstone. So fingers crossed we can transfer it over to the track and have a really strong weekend.
This side seems closer and I'm small, so that's good.
Oh, I feel like, you know Bug's Life? Yeah. Don't look at that eye. I can't help it.
It's a bit bright for me after yesterday.
It is bright.
Jesus. Oh, I suppose you were caving, weren't you?
Yeah, tunnelling.
How was your tunnelling?
It was, yeah, interesting. Cool. Something I've never done before anyway, been in that, you know, a lot of that.
So what is it? How long is it?
2.7 kilometres.
Oh, Jesus,
that's long enough.
It's basically longer than the track we're doing now.
Yeah.
In a straight line.
In a straight line. Yeah.
All underground.
So where is it?
About 20 minutes away.
Oh, sweet. It's close then.
Yeah.
And how do they?
I was going to say, how do they monitor everything?
Yeah. How do you?
So you just put the little sensors over.
You just got to attach everything you can to the car.
Got to do your own sensors.
I think we were mainly going off like the sort of damper pots for how much downforce, and also the sort of speed.
So it's that smooth. You can do it all off damper pots.
It's the same people that laid the tarmac here.
Wow.
So it is like
super smooth.
Fair play.
Right, okay, so similar role to Thruxton, we've got championship to look at. So Dan, apologies if you're going to get the call, but you may get a call at some point to discuss the strategy. Try and keep it simple. First lap will pan out, how it pans out, and then if we get an opportunity to switch, like Thruxton, we'll only do it where the gap's big enough so we don't compromise the position for you as well.
We've got to work out where we're going to do it, please.
Yeah, we've had a few little chats, haven't we, about certainly from the towing side that we felt maybe into Brooklands would be the right place because I can sort of leave the door open.
Well, we'll work out a gap that we're comfortable with, and I think the key is for us to communicate on the pit wall.
Yeah.
With ourselves and with you guys. But that's the plan.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Ash has got a real chance now, so I'll play the best role I can.
Four minutes.
It is race 1 of the day. It is round 25. We are almost good to go racing here at Silverstone. But Colin Turkington, the championship leader, has work to do from 10th. Drivers now look towards the light in Gantry. It's a good start by Butcher. It's a good start by Morgan. Not a great start by Ingram, and Morgan comes up on the outside of Jake Hill. They go side by side into Copse Corner. Jake on the inside squeezes back through as Ingram's got track position and he's got the job done even before Luffield, right round the outside of the BMW. Fantastic move.
Definitely the BMW struggling with cold tyres. That's what's held Hill back. He's had to defend. Tom Ingram knew that those BMWs were struggling, and now he's hunting downhill. He'll try around the outside again using the tyre advantage. He can't pull it off this time. It's up the inside, a little bit of contact.
I went for a move into Luffield, it just wasn't quite there. As he's come back in, I've tapped him into a big slide. But in trying to stay back from Jake, to not gain an advantage, it just meant that there was a load of other cars that came in the mix. It's a little bit frustrating, and in that scenario, really quite dangerous because it's so difficult to know what to do.
Ingram lines up the inside, and Jake Hill hangs on to the place. Morgan up the inside of Ingram, and Camish is in the mix as well. The race leader, Rory Butcher, 2.4 seconds ahead, but this gap is absolutely plummeting. It was over 3 seconds, now it's 1.3. Jake Hill's another half a second gain, so he is reeling in. Rory Butcher, look, Hill closes up under braking, nibbling almost at the back of the Toyota.
Ingram is in front of Camish, which means that Camish has his teammate behind.
So you might expect a switch of place here just to give Ash Sutton a few more points.
We'll do it on the last lap one way or another, either into Brooklands if he feels it's safe or out of Luffield.
Interesting to see whether Camish and Sutton swap positions on this last lap. I think they're doing it now in the background.
They are indeed. There is a big gap on the inside. Ash Sutton goes through. Checkered flag at the ready, and Rory Butcher will win round 25 of the championship at Silverstone. Jake Hill takes second.
Do you think the hybrid has changed the racing massively? Because I think it's changed how we all think about the racing. Yeah. And I think it's changed how the season's then panned out as well. Because I think there's more drivers in the sort of the window to be able to win the championship than there probably has been before. Because what is it, 5 of us at the minute, give or take, that can win it. But I don't remember it being that close before.
The big difference is with the hybrid now is that it's a qualifying game. Because the cars that are quick in qualifying remain quick all weekend. With the weight used to drop them off so much during a race weekend, or it could do, and you have to re-engineer the car, which is the other thing.
I think from someone who's been sort of trying to play catch-up, what it's revealed to me is that you really can't. The start of the season I should have gone to the next few rounds with zero weight in the old game, absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Pole, win,
exactly catch up. But now, unfortunately, you can't do that. We've struggled at times to even qualify in top 5 or 6, and the same guys, yourselves included. If you're the fast guys in the championship, you're still up there now.
But then there's maybe an argument that it has made it better now because you've got at this stage of the season, say 4 people all within 25 points.
I think it just highlights that you've got to get off to a good start. When I had a good year a few years ago, I played massive catch up and then nearly pinched it at the end. I think now you have to start well, and then you can sustain that. I don't think you can do this sort of drop back and yo-yo. That's exactly right.
Well done, Jake. Congratulations. On to the second step of the podium and gets the award and a handshake from Jack Crowther. And a fifth podium and first win this year for Rory Butcher. And that is our podium presentation for round 25.
Welcome to my restoration project of a house. What you see is what you get, basically. This is probably the worst room in the house. Hannah, my fiance, is here. She's got her little office set up for now. It's very, very temporary. She said yes in January, which is helpful. So yeah, we are getting married at the moment in 2025, so a little bit away. simply because of dates for British touring cars. So, welcome upstairs. This is definitely my boys' den, full of all my Tamiya RC car collection, Ska Electric, which is obviously a very proud sponsor of mine, PS5 and all my podium hats and some of my trophies. So just my little space just to kick back, relax, enjoy, just being a kid basically. You know, it's no secret, I love all my, you know, RC stuff and Ska Electric and everything. So yeah, just having a bit of time to yourself and my little breathing space. Keeps me away from all the stresses and strains from touring cars, that's for sure. Being in the British Touring Car Championship is stressful. There's no two ways about it. You have an awful lot of guests to look after, a lot of people to please, and obviously you've got to do the job in the car as well, so that, you know, it can all continue year after year. Every year is touch and go whether, you know, whether you're going to do it again. 16, 17, 18 were hard, just because you really doubt yourself as a driver when the car's not where it needs to be and the resources aren't there. When you've been very successful in championships before, you join touring cars, and then all of a sudden you're, you know, P15 and backwards all the time. You do start to doubt yourself whether you're actually any good. You know, you never know what can happen. You know, anything, it can change in an instant. So you've got to be so grateful for what you've got at the time that you've got it. 2019 was definitely the turnaround year that really made me enjoy going racing again. It's a bit dusty, but a little montage that Dad got me for Christmas, 2019, of our return basically with AMD and the little Audi. First win, Knockhill, first podium, Brands. The heat, I remember that, I was literally dying, Alton Park qualifying, and obviously me and MB, the boss, and look how far we've come.
We are set to go. Rory Butcher is on pole position for this second race at Silverstone, with Jake Hill winning at the front of the grid. Lights go out, slow start by Jake Hill, good start by Adam Morgan. Slow start by Ingram, good start by the Napa Racing Fords as well as they swamp him. Jake Hill is on the attack, Adam Morgan tries to defend as they go through maggots for the first time.
That's right, come on Jake.
Oh! And that was Adam Morgan getting into the back of Ash Sutton. He's done a little bit of damage.
Might want to think about that, because it would suit them today.
That little bit of hesitation and wheel spin really suffered for Ingram. Both the Napa Racing cars getting through on him.
Brad, can you check front end damage on pit wall? Did you hear that? Yeah, Brad's just going to the pit wall to have a look.
Again, Ingram up the back of Sutton.
Big dive round the outside, Ingram on Morgan. He's going to do it, but he's going to run a little bit wide. They're still together, but Ingram will have the line into Luffield.
That car is flying.
Great job, mate. Current fastest lap, 57.8.
Now, leaders go through. Margin between them is almost irrelevant. You can see how close it is.
Hill's gone wide to try and cut back and get a mega exit onto the start of the lap. He cuts underneath. Is this the moment that Hill takes the lead? I think he has. Beautifully done by Hill. He's going to have to brave it out all the way down to Cops. Butcher tries, but Hill's quick enough.
Yes! Come on!
Well played.
Jake Hill absolutely disappearing up the road. He is over a second to the good.
That's ridiculous.
There's Ingram taking his inside line. Can he get up the inside of Sutton? Just gets his nose back across the front of Ingram.
I quite enjoy that focused attention that starts to come into the final, that little bit of a, right, starting to put a bit of a plan together. Where can we get even more? Where can we do that? How does that feel?
That's why we do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that the competition and being the best on the day or the best of the year is what we all strive to be.
Yeah. Checkered flag at the ready. Jake Hill wins at Silverstone.
Yes! Come on!
First win, eh?
I said this to friends at the time. If I wanted to have a bit of fun, I would go down my local kart track with my mates.
Yeah.
That's fun. But the second someone takes a stop clock out, that's now this is changed, and then the enjoyment comes from the competition and that lifting yourself to have that weekend, that moment, that pole lap that other people couldn't achieve.
Yeah, exactly that.
You can just imagine Craig, can't you? Sat in the hospital, laptop open, screaming.
Craig wasn't at Silverstone because he got ill, and basically he's having to be looked after and kept under surveillance, I guess.
Yeah, having some blood tests.
Yeah, blood tests, you know, almost every day at the moment. He was definitely still working as hard as ever though. I think he was wondering what the doctors were thinking because he had 3 laptops up on his bed. He had his engineering one, ITV4 on the go, and you know,
the timing screen
the timing screen on another one. So my dad, Alex from MB, and Sean Hollenby, we all thought it'd be a good idea that he got the winner's trophy from race 2. So they kindly dropped that into him on the way back into hospital, and yeah, I think he was very appreciative of that.
Right, we're looking forward then to another lively race 3, and Jake Hill, as the race 1 winner, starts 8th on the reversal route draw. We've got a championship situation to think about. This promises to have everything going on. So the grid is formed. We are just about good to go. Lights out, it's blast off. Good getaway by Cook. Good getaway also by Dan Camish. Dan at the inside, gets into the back of Cook, knocks him sideways.
Camish makes a better start. Cook comes across. There's contact initially.
Right. He won't look where he was going, was he?
Camish dropping back.
Camish has got a problem.
Come on, Sting.
Morgan into the back of Cook. Cook just saves it, but through comes Ingram.
More drama, that's Gordon Shedden sideways. He gets into the back of Jake Hill.
Jake Hill survived a very anxious moment then.
That's not nice. Don't like that.
Ingram leads the way. He said pre-race he wanted big points. When he's in the lead, it's going the right way for him.
And Ollie Jackson getting his elbows out. He's side by side with Hill.
Up towards Beckett's now. Camish up the curve. Cook breaks late. He's got the inside line. The road comes back to him. But Camish stands his ground on the outside line. He's not giving up.
Camish is on the inside into Brooklands.
So Camish goes through and Cook can't stay alongside to retaliate. Look at this, side by side. Jake Hill on the attack, gets on the inside of Ollie Jackson. Gordon Shedden right there behind. Shedden into the back of Hill. Is he coming into the corner? They've both got past Jackson. Hill does go wide, but he hangs on to the place. Good recovery.
I think we got rear floor damage.
And a challenge made there because diving up the inside of Jake Hill goes Tom Chilton. That's to try and hang on to his 6th place, in fact, but Jake Hill goes round the outside of him. Hill goes through, gains another spot. Good move. Looks straight away. He's on the tail of Josh Cook here. And as they come off Luffield, he's going to try to dive to the inside into Woodcote. And there the BMW just breezes up alongside, and Jake Hill serenely motors through.
I want to be in the hospital ward.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's watching it. Everyone's watching it.
The next target is Dan Camish, who is not going to be cooperative because he needs to protect Ash Sutton.
They're both on the hybrid. Now, will this be round the outside from Hill? He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. He's done it. Jake Hill's driven fantastically this weekend, hasn't he? A 2nd and a 1st, and he's on for a 4th now.
4th place will be a good haul of points, and it will be a hugely vital gain toward the Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time. Tom Ingram makes his way up towards the timing line for a career 23rd win, wins race 3 at Silverstone. Tom Ingram wins, Ash Sutton 2nd, Rory Butcher 3rd, Jake Hill 4th, Dan Camish 5th. You can see the delight in his face, even under the crash helmet. That keeps him in the mix going to Brands Hatch.
Yeah, good. Very, very good. Brilliant weekend. Shame we couldn't get a podium for the last race, but we'll take 4th. That's, yeah, mega. 5 points into Brands. We were 23 coming in, 5 points now, so yeah, mega.
So this is my 1992 R32 GTR. Ta-da! It's my baby. When we took it to Goodwood for the revival, for Goodwood you need something that's 60s really, but yeah, unfortunately 1992 would have to do. It doesn't serve a purpose, it's not a daily driver, it's my pride and joy, you know, it's simple as that. Yeah, I always wanted one, you know, and yes, you could have a lot more for what this is worth now, but this is just such a different feeling, you know, it's old school turbos. It's the 90s, man, it's what it was, you know, it's cool. It's literally what a PlayStation game was back then. You know, at the start of the year, media day comes around, it's an exciting time. It was an exciting time for me, starting with a new team, with a team that I dreamt of driving for, you know, for a very long time, to drive for BMW and West Surrey Racing.
So I think this year with WSR and with MB, like MB we've worked with for a number of years, and like they've kind of always felt like family. And I think this last year with WSR, the kind of racing family has extended.
You never know how well you're going to integrate into a new team and into a new car. So the challenges of that have been challenging, and the first half of the year was a bit messy from my side, but the second half of the year has been fantastic, and I feel like I really, got my head around it. So yeah, I hoped I would be near the front and obviously challenging for wins and challenging for the title, and yeah, I'm very thankful that those sort of dreams have come true.
I think it's everything that I've ever wanted for Jake. I've seen it, his dream, what he's worked for so long, for so many years. I kind of can't believe we're at this point now where he's within a chance, a really good chance of winning, and to win it would mean even more because it's kind of like that final piece of the puzzle that kind of then fits into place.
I've never won a championship ever in anything. I've come close quite a few times, but it would just be a lifetime goal achieved. It would be awesome for me or Tom because it would be our first championship. If Tom won it, I'd still be pleased for him because I know how hard he's worked, and I'm sure it would be vice versa. No, not really. But yeah, it's true.
Obviously, it's the chance you've got as well, because next year it's mine anyway. So.
Oh, that's a big harump. What's a big harump for you, Ree?
I didn't think that touring cars could take up any more of my brain space than it already does, but I cannot stop thinking about this weekend. I can't believe we go tomorrow. How are you feeling?
I'm all right, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we've obviously been here before. We've gone into the final a couple of times before. 57th time of doing it without actually winning it. But I think this feels like our best chance, I think.
It feels different, I get that. I think before we've just been caught up with being mathematically in contention, and this year feels a lot stronger.
I don't think we've ever had a proper chance. I think we've been there, but we've never actually had a proper chance. I think we could actually do it. But I think we've done enough homework.
Oh, I know. I'm sick of watching Brown's hat. I can't believe I'm excited. I'm obviously a little bit apprehensive. There's a lot of people that have sort of ridden the wave for so long with us as well. Yeah. We've worked together. We've raised every pound to go racing. We've won every point together, and to see it all come together, winning it would just
mad, isn't it? It is terrifying to think that we could do it. Yeah. That's the mad thing, and obviously we need to be quick. But I don't think it's a case of who's going to be quickest this weekend, because I think all three of us are going to be together. I can't call. I can't. You can't see any of it.
So obviously Monday, if we do win it, I keep saying when we win it, Monday's going to hurt like hell because we'll have a hangover of all hangovers.
And Tuesday.
Wednesday, Thursday. I was going to say, then what do we do? Do we go on holiday?
Yes, or Yuri,
come on then. Yes.
Yeah, what a boy. Wednesday, the final countdown going into the finale. It's a weird week, actually. It feels a really weird week because you're in the realms of it being a race week, but with it being like the final race weekend. The way I always describe it to people is it's like standing at the top of the stairs and nearly falling down the stairs. That rush of adrenaline that you get, thinking, whoa, I could have hurt myself. It's like that. It's a really hard thing to describe unless you felt it before, but I feel in good shape. I think we've done all the homework that we needed to do. It'll be what it'll be.
So qualifying for the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is imminent.
We just want to win and be the best. It's the most prestigious championship in the UK. Top drivers, top engineers, top teams. It's on TV in front of millions of people. We want to win.
In, so as you might anticipate, the front-wheel drive cars come for a tyre swap.
Being realistic in touring cars is a big thing. You can't win every race. Obviously, my job is to support him as best I can now. We're not against each other. We're definitely with each other. Obviously, my job now going forward is to finish the season strongly, and next year start absolutely level. Because as much as I've got this role for now, this support role, it's not the role that I signed on for.
Yes, they're long hours, but it's all worth it when you pick up that trophy at the end of the year. Poles, wins and championships, that's what you want. And that's what makes it worth it.
Where does Jake Hill's lap put him as he breaks the beam, goes on the pole position?
I've never obviously been in this position where I'm fighting for the championship properly, whereas this year we're there. So the stresses are higher.
I don't think anyone goes racing or does any sport to finish second.
Up to 4th.
Ash Sutton's up to 3rd in the meantime. And he's sideways, coming out of Sheet Curb.
Comes across the line. Oh, it's a 28.5. It is quicker. That was the quickest lap we've ever seen in the touring car.
Ingram is out of the car, so he feels that that is it. In 5 minutes, people aren't going to be able to go better. Jake Hill, good in sector 2, not so good in sectors 1 and 3. Net result is 5th, stays where he was. So Tom Ingram it is who takes pole position.
Very excited now, yeah. Very excited. Obviously, it's touring cars, anything can happen, but it's a good place to start, that is. We think we've got a couple of tenths in the bag there as well, so very confident going tomorrow. So on pole by 4 tenths is a big deal. We're really chuffed with that. All the work in the week's paid off.
Quali on the finale weekend has been a stressful one. There's been a lot to try and get right. Now, we rolled the car out on Friday afternoon for our shakedown, and it felt very good, like really good. Free practice 1, incredible, really good. Free practice 2, even better. Qualifying, another leg altogether, just obscenely good. Like, I have not even got the words to come up with the slightest hint of a criticism. So to qualify pole on what's arguably the most important, probably the most important qualifying session of my life was just beyond words of what I could have imagined. So really pleased to have got it done, but we haven't got the job. All we've done is submit our CV and someone said, we'll have a look at it. So the hard work starts tomorrow in race day. Try and keep my head level for tomorrow, which is going to be a big day.
Well done. Good job. Well done.
Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done. Good job.
Well done.
Mate, where we have this?
Well done. Good job.
See, it was worth all f***ing around.
It's close. It's incredibly close between a few of us. But yeah, me and Ash, in a good place to start 3rd and 4th, Hill in 5th. So you got the freak title guys 1st, 3rd and 5th, and then you got me and Butcher thrown in for good measure, really. Just with not to lose and everything to gain. So it's going to be an interesting first race tomorrow. It's kind of set my day. Qualifying behind Ash, basically means that's where I'll be. I'll be rear gunning, and I've got to do that to the best of my ability, which means I've got to keep Hill behind me for as long as possible. We want a strong end to our campaign, and we're going to give it everything tomorrow to make sure that happens.
Wingfoot champions.
Ingram P1, Sutton P3, ourselves P.
He's in the mix.
Well done, guys.
Well done. Wingfoot champion, yeah. Wingfoot champion, so well done.
Have we?
Yeah. First champion.
Anyway, we're quickest rear-wheel drive car. He's in. I don't know what he's on the weighbridge, but I'm not sure if he's coming back.
I doubt he will.
Stay up there.
Should I go up there then?
Yeah, I think so.
Big day tomorrow. Very big day.
certainly Tom Ingram, Jake Hill, Ash Sutton, Tim Harvey, they're all scrappers, aren't they? They're all prepared to get stuck in there. Yes, they know how to bank points, but as you've just heard Jake use the phrase, he's up for the fight.
None of us can be in the headspace of these four guys.
Strap yourself in to the world's fastest straightjacket, because round 28 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is about to get underway. Lights out, blast off, good getaway by Ingram, good start by Sutton as well. Jake Hill tries to get through the traffic, little bit of contact as the BMW was briefly airborne, bodywork flies, Dan Camish on the outside, they're trying to box in Hill as they dive into paddock. Hill into the back of Sutton, Thompson round the outside of the BM. He's going to have the inside line down the hill. This is going to affect Jake Hill's race because Thompson goes through. Now he makes a lunge to the inside of Sutton, can't do it. But Hill drops a place to Thompson. Well, so Turkington's gained another place, he's up to 7th. Here comes Hill.
Hill's going to get up the inside here, coming into Sheen Curve.
Here comes Thompson again on the inside of Hill. This time Sutton's trying to defend from everybody. Thompson round the outside of Hill, gets turned sideways, he's off the road, and up the inside comes out of Morgan. So 1 up and 1 down for Jake Hill. Morgan gets run out wide, so Hill now is back up into 4th.
Hill, he is rapidly closing down Sutton.
See the damage on the front of Jake Hill's car. You saw the debris fly at the start when he rubbed up against Sutton. He's right in the back of him, going through Druids. And just look at the way that Sutton is having to defend. He's bouncing up the curb. Hill again goes for a gap, 2 wheels on the grass. But this time he keeps his foot in. Jake Hill for 3rd place. Yes, he's gone through, finally. The checkered flag awaits for Tom Ingram, who is going to come through and take a 5th win of the season. Tom Ingram wins race 1. Rory Butcher 2nd across the line. It's going to be 3rd place for Jake Hill.
10th podium and 5th win of the year, Tom Ingram. Here comes Fingers and Tom Ingram on the top step of the podium for the 5th time this year.
The car's got to be on the money every time, at its best, or the best we can do. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with that.
I mean, I've been in this championship now since 2014. So it's kind of been my life's work since I was probably 5, being realistic. So when I first started racing, and I was racing in go-karts and bits and pieces like that, I had the ambition of getting to touring cars. That's all I really wanted to do, was to get to touring cars.
British touring cars is what I've always wanted to be doing, and yeah, it's sort of wanted to do since leaving school. It's the only job I've ever had, really. So I was actually Tom's mechanic for a year before I moved up to be a race engineer. I've been his race engineer since 2018 now.
I think it's just the thrill of those, high pace, short, punchy races that you get.
For us, this driving touring cars, racing in touring cars, this is our life, this is what we do.
I think motorsport's quite a unique sport where without the team backing up that sole driver, then the driver couldn't do their job. The single driver going around and winning the championship is what the focal point is, but to be a part of that team backing up the driver, that to me where the fun is. And then when you get the results as well, it makes it worth doing it.
And having the fight and having the best race you can.
I can actually probably win this. And I've been on this journey with Laura and myself. There's been so many people that have been on the journey with us, from friends that we've met along the way, but also to people like Chris and Leslie Hansford that are living this as much as we are, to Spencer, to my parents, to everyone that's been involved in this. It's been so many years of hard work to get not just to the grid, but keep it going, keep improving results, get another win, get another one, get another one, get some podiums, get this.
My deal isn't done, you never know what can happen, anything, it can change in an instant. So you've got to be so grateful for what you've got at the time that you've got it.
Jake and myself have worked together. We've known each other for 4 years now, and this is our 3rd year working together as a race engineer and driver team. We just hit it off from the off, even when we weren't working together, we just got on. And that's why 2nd year we looked to work together, and we haven't looked back since. When you start looking at it, I don't think I can quite put into words what it actually means, because it's been your life's work to get to this point in the first place. That actually getting it would be amazing. I can't put into words, because it would mean so much, because of so many years of work that have gone into getting to this point in the first place. So it very much feels like it's Christmas Eve at the minute, and it's exciting. When Christmas Day comes, it's going to be amazing.
So I think the difficulty now is obviously going to be keeping that going, because we've obviously going to have Jake starting a little bit closer to us in this next race.
For those rapid rear-wheel drive starts.
They are going to be super fast off the line. So that's going to take a bit of beating, I think.
I think ultimate pace, we've got it. We had fastest lap of the race in race 1.
Yeah.
We had time in hand as well when we've looked through the data.
Yeah.
So it was quite relatively comfortable. So I think we should have the outright pace to win it. It's just if some unforeseen circumstances occur, I suppose.
Need a good start. Whatever goes on in the start, don't
we do.
I feel fairly relaxed. I don't feel too much pressure. Ultimately, there's not a lot we can do. It's just I think it's just going to come down to the start. But I actually felt more relaxed on the grid than I actually did when we were sat
here. The build up.
Because you get all of that. You get like these guys coming in and talking to you and that sort of stuff. And actually, it's quite nice just to sit in the car and like almost be with your own thoughts. And
that's dangerous.
Go from there.
Cool.
Very good.
Happy?
Yeah, man. Trusty.
Got any engine oil anywhere? Happy?
Okay, cool.
You got a bottle? I can give you one here.
Thank you, Colin.
Sorry, mate.
Bring it home, Jay.
Try, Louise.
Yes, you can.
All I can do is try. Thank you.
You've got it in you. You've got it in you. You've done it all year. So that's 4.5 minutes.
Okay, mate. Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy it, yeah.
Be fun.
Cool, mate. Love you, mate. Yeah?
Go and do this thing.
Okay, radio check, mate. Have you got me?
Well done, everyone. Good weekend, one last time. Thank you for having me in the team. It's been a pleasure.
Where we got to be?
Depends where all the others finish.
Just stay behind him. We'll be alright.
Sutton's got to finish 3rd at least, and Hill's got to finish 4th. Just another race.
Yeah, man.
Same thing we do every day, Pinky.
Come on, the world.
We've got to be a couple of places behind Jake and Ash, stay out of trouble, get a finish. It's looking promising.
All comes down to this, doesn't it? And we got our man back.
We got our man back, he's got a shirt on.
I said it suits him better than blue.
Round 30 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship. The championship title is about to be decided. It's a 3-way fight for the crown. The championship showdown is underway. They blast away from the grid.
Oh, don't get out there.
Ingram has got caught up with BMWs all around him. Look, he's on the outside of Turkington, but he's ahead of Hill.
We don't need to be doing this, do we?
Ingram forces the issue on the inside of Turkington now. That's row bottom, and he spins, and he's avoided somehow. Ingram on the attack, trying to find a way past him. Camish defends. This is going to be much tougher for Ingram, and the danger is that as he gets caught up there, Hill fights back.
Negative, we don't need to pass Camish.
Because up the inside goes Rory Butcher to move through to take 3rd away from Ash Sutton. That's very good news as far as Ingram is concerned. Morgan is 5th, and it's Camish, Ingram, Hill. Nobody doing anything silly or dirty or full of contact. This is good, hard touring car racing. But look at this, Jake Hill on the inside of Ingram, and he's gone through, heading into Sheepfair. Morgan gets turned around like Hamish there, and Hill has gained another couple of places.
So close to disaster for Tom Ingram.
Checkered flag at the ready. Tom Ingram across the line to win the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Just ridiculous. Absolutely marvellous. I cannot say thank you enough to every single person, because it's just amazing. It is an absolute lifelong dream come true, and I just cannot believe it. Bristol Street Motors and Accelerate Train Press Cars, we won it! Woohoo!
I was just going to find you. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Good. Relieved. And buzzing.
So, Tom Ingram makes his way down the pit lane. Tom Ingram came into this as championship leader. He emerges from the car as the British Touring Car Champion. Tom Ingram celebrates at Brands Hatch. A British Touring Car title, his first. It could well be the first of many.
It's these bunch of people.
It's this team.
It's this team, that's what I'm saying. It's this bunch of people.
It's pretty good, wasn't it? Never in doubt. Drove perfectly, no risks, just cruise round, out of trouble. Would have been nice, but we didn't have that at all. He was trying to pass Hill. He didn't need to. We didn't need to. Battling with him when we didn't need to. We could have just held back, but that's not Tom Ingram. So that's yeah. We got a good race. We've done it. Finally done it. 12 years I've been trying to do this. Hey, thanks, mate.
Well done, everyone.
We've done that,
No.
Hey, come on! Hey, I'm gone! I've fallen off!
Oh no.
And take care. From the legend down there, Alan Hyde, to myself, Matt Sutton, thank you so much for being part of this.
How was the day? It was tough. It was really tough, and for reasons really outside of our control at times. We qualified really well. Qualified fourth. Ash was third. Race one got away from me. Probably tried a little bit too hard to play the team game, trying desperately to sort of keep Hill away from Ash, and that's on me. Put myself back into a pack I didn't want to be in, surrounded by very fast BMWs. And then we made some small changes, thinking we were going to have a real good chance of winning the last one, starting third. And for not the first time this year, didn't make it past turn two. Beyond fed up now of weekends been spoiled by people that
don't feel they need to break. If you're the last in the train, unfortunately, you get clattered. What's done's done, but a year what might have been, there's been too many incidents, too many accidents. We'll put our heads together and we'll come back full of positivity that we can turn a corner. Massive thanks to the team, Motorbase, Napa Racing UK, been unbelievable. It's a pleasure to be part of such a fantastic group, it truly is. I couldn't wish to be with anybody better. And now we look ahead to a bright future, I think, with Napa and Motorbase. I'm very excited about it. So even though you won't be filming me next year, hopefully you'll be seeing a lot of me.
The last round of the British Touring Car Championship, and I think I finished third in the championship. So yeah, obviously I'm a bit disappointed, but at the same time, I'm extremely proud of what we have achieved this year. It was my first year with BMW and West Surrey Racing, so we've done extraordinary things, I think. So I've impressed everyone, I hope, on my debut season here, and hopefully we can be the ones lifting that crown next year. I'm still happy. I'm extremely happy. It's been a fantastic year. So, and credit to Tom as well, because he is a deserving champion. But just a huge thank you to all of my rocket ship crew, West Surrey Racing, MB Motorsport, and everyone else involved, all of our partners, for sticking by me and making it work.
What a day! It's been remarkable. It's been a day that I don't think even my wildest dreams could have pictured it going this well. I think Laura's pretty emotional, as I am. I think everyone's emotional. Everyone's just on such a high. It's such a difficult emotion to try and hold on to try and describe. Everyone's saying, "How do I feel?" And I can't tell you how I feel, because if I were to be able to bottle this and have this as an emotion just to open up every so often would be amazing, because it's amazing. And the great thing with it is that it's come with so many people involved. That's what I love. That trophy behind will have my name on it, but it should have everyone's name on it here, because we've done such an amazing job. It's been an amazing year. It's been something that I could only have dreamed about when I was a kid. So to be stood here chatting to you guys as 2022 British Touring Car Champion, what an amazing experience. I've got such an amazing group of people around me, with Chris and Leslie Hanson, my parents, Laura, Bristol Street Major. I've got so many people to be thankful for that I would be here for hours to list every single one of them. So, a massive thank you to everyone, a massive thank you to all the fans. They've been beyond incredible. The support I had coming into the finale was unbelievable. I was getting messages at 3 o'clock in the morning, constant streams of messages, 24 hours a day, of people wishing us well, wishing us all the luck in the world, and hoping that we could do it. So we've done it.